24, Mississippi State. Down on the Mississippi Gulf Coast in Pascagoula is where Shane Matthews first became a football hero. An all-state quarterback on a championship team, he would follow his star to Gainesville, Florida. Eventually, he would team with offensive genius Steve Spurrier. The results would be magical for the Florida Gators. 5 years later, Pascagoula's Shane Matthews is a Heisman candidate, marching home to Mississippi for the first time.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this day since I signed the dotted line to come to the University of Florida, and it's finally come. And we know Mississippi State's going to be ready for us, and hopefully I'll play one of my best games.
Here come the Florida Gators, the defending SEC champions. They come into Starkville, Mississippi with a record of 1-1. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick. Great to have you with us. This is a big game tonight for both ball clubs because each has lost a game in the SEC. And in the storied history of this conference, no one has ever won a championship with 2 defeats. And even with divisional play, that probably isn't going to change. Mike Godfrey joins me now. And Mike, I know both of these teams want to do the same thing, but they've got to go about it different ways.
Mike, you're right. Florida has an inexperienced offensive line, and the pressure will fall on quarterback Shane Matthews to control the football with the passing game, short passing game, screens, delays, and then get Eric Redd involved with a draw play. Now, Mississippi State has a different plan. They have to try to control the football on the ground. The Sleepy Robinson rolling out on the rollout play, option plays, getting behind that big offensive line and controlling the football. Jackie Sherrill might have put it best. He said, if it's a finesse game, Florida wins. If it's a physical football game, we win.
Both of these teams have had 10 days off since they last played. That's great for the players that were injured. And it also gives the coaches a chance to try out a couple of new wrinkles.
Well, you're right. You get your injured players back, but you get a chance to put in some new plays. Watson Brown, the offensive coordinator from Mississippi State, has new formations and new plays ready for Florida tonight. And if you're Mississippi State on defense, you have to worry about Steve Spurrier doing a similar thing on the other side of the ball. Now, both teams use the open date wisely. You correct your mistakes, you keep a focus, you put in some new wrinkles. Now, the team that adjusts the best to the new things they see tonight will gain an edge.
All right, Mike, and it is a critical game for both ball clubs, and we'll have the kickoff in a moment. ESPN's Thursday Night CFA is brought to you by American Express Corporate Card, to your success. And by Budweiser, the king of beers, with that clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. Number 13, Florida, against number 24, Mississippi State from Starkville. One of the big questions tonight, the condition of 2 key offensive players. We have that report from Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thank you very much, Mike, and hello, everybody. It's true, Mike. 2 key offensive players will not be 100% tonight. For Florida, the primary concern, their junior running back, Eric Redd. Last year's SEC rushing leader sustained a left ankle injury against Tennessee. In the past 10 days, he has practiced but once, and that was not at full speed. Prior to the game, he seemed to be moving okay, but the big concern is lateral mobility. For Mississippi State, the concern, senior quarterback, Sleepy Robinson, who sustained a deep thigh bruise in the season-opening win at Texas. Now, that certainly affected his ability to move the offense in the past 2 outings. He says he's back to 85%. The big question mark, will 85% be enough for him to turn to that reckless abandon running style, which he'll need if they are to beat the Gators tonight? Mike?
All right, thank you. Jackie Sherrill now in his second year, a 9-6 record. He had enormous success before at Pitt and then Texas A&M. Steve Spurrier with a sparkling 20-5 record in his 3rd season with the Gators. The last 2 years, he's been the SEC Coach of the Year. Mississippi State has won the toss, elected to receive at home as we start the game. Tony James, the SEC all-time total kick return yard man, one of the 2 deep men, effect there with Kenny Roberts. And James from just outside the 10 to the 24 where he's planted. Got a penalty flag down. We'll check it for you. Referee Dick Burleson from Birmingham, Alabama. Let's take a look at tonight's McDonald's starting lineups for the Mississippi State offense. Sleepy Robinson, the key to the option offense. If he can operate the ground game, his passing is much more efficient. Willie Harris, the big play receiver, averaging over 20 yards a catch for his career. His coach says he may be the best he's ever had. An outstanding group up front, anchored by Alton Trophy candidate John James, 6'3", 294. Robinson leads them out and runs the sweep on the first play. Plenty of room to the outside across the 20 to the 27-yard line. Driven out of bounds there, so a successful running play on first down for Sleepy Robinson. For Florida, nothing but youth up front. Defensive end Kevin Carter, a sophomore, has the most experience. He leads the linemen in tackles. Carlton Miles leads everyone and stops the 22. The senior had some discipline problems in the past, but he has become a team leader. A veteran secondary features safety Will White, the senior, a Thorpe Award candidate again after passing up the NFL draft last year. They'll go with Roberts, trying to get to the outside. This time Florida defenses it much better and knocks him out about the line of scrimmage.
Mike, the game plan is designed for Sleepy Robinson, number 15. They have to spring him loose on big plays. Sleepy talked about the other day his thigh injury. He felt like he was about 85% on the option play in the last couple of games. He was pitching the ball. Tonight he needs to take some chances with the football.
His given name is William Bernard. He got the nickname, he said, because he has such small eyes. He always looks like he's asleep. Not asleep on the football field. 2nd and 10. Robinson with a quick toss. Complete across the 30, 35, 37-yard line, near another first down.
Mike, we talked about new wrinkles, and this is a new wrinkle that Mississippi State has not shown. See this receiver right here? There's no one on him, so the quarterback, Sleepy Robinson, is just going to raise up and throw him the football. It's an uncovered receiver rule. Florida needs to make adjustments to the no-back set.
That was William Prince, who's getting a start for the first time this year. He was the starter a year ago, and Ed Robinson is the linebacker who missed it. Robinson, the quarterback on the keeper. Near the 49, and another Mississippi State first down.
Another key play, another good call by Watson Brown. Now you see the linebackers completely out of your screen, so now you get a quarterback draw because the linebackers are missing. There's a little trap. There's no linebackers. They have to go out on the receivers. There's Watson Brown, the offensive coordinator. Like I said, when you have 10 days, you get a chance to scheme somebody really well.
And on the other side, the Gator defensive coaches are going crazy trying to adjust on the fly. Here's the toss. Roberts. Shook one tackle, gets into Florida territory all the way down to the 46-yard line. Kevin Carter chasing the play, and Monty Groh, the Gator back, make the tackle.
There's Ron Zook, the defensive coordinator from Florida. Now, what he needs to do is just try to get his guys at ease a little bit, get into set defense, and then try to get them off the field and adjust to the no-back set.
It will be 2nd and 4 for Mississippi State, and everything they have tried so far has worked very, very well. Prince is the single setback. Roberts on a wing, and Prince will get the carry. Waiting for him on the outside, Ben Hanks.
Sleepy Robinson with a little give on the draw play. It made it look like it was going to be the sprint out again. Tried to get Florida to move to the right with good flow, and then came back with a draw to the backside.
It will be 3rd and 1 for the Bulldogs from the Florida 42. No backs. 5 men out wide, and it really spreads the Gator defense. And Robinson tries to keep it and has the first down at the 41. Well, that situation, you've got 5 guys blocking 4.
Well, and you're right, Mike. And the way this is designed against the inside linebackers of Florida. Anytime you see Mississippi State in a no-back set, you can count on number 15 is either going to throw the football or run it. The ball's in his hands all the way.
Robinson, as you heard earlier from Dr. Jerry Punch, still not 100% recovered from the terrible thigh bruise that he got in the first game of the year, but he's rushed for 26 yards on 3 carries so far. Roberts the man in motion. They run the option, and Robinson keeps a gain of only about 2 this time. Ben Hanks makes another tackle, and if that number 11 looks familiar for the Florida Gators, it's because the number that Steve Spurrier had retired at the University of Florida. That was his number when he won the Heisman in 1966. He gave it to Ben Hanks, the redshirt freshman out of Miami. His only stipulation was keep it on defense. I don't want to see another quarterback with it.
Coach will do amazing things for a good player. He'll even take his retired jersey out of play. Get it back on the field.
2nd and 7. Robinson, little misdirection play and tripped up the line of scrimmage. Kevin Carter again made the hit. Carlton Miles was there, the linebacker.
This is a quarterback counter play where Sleepy's going to start to the left. Now he's trying to foul his offensive tackle. But Florida did a nice job. Kevin Carter, number 57, got penetration on the backside. Stop the play.
And that brings up a 3rd and 8, not Mississippi State's favorite situation in a 3rd and long. They simply don't throw the drop back kind of pass very well.
Well, you're right. You have to think some type of screen here or a curl route to get the first down.
3 wide receivers to the near side. Robinson on the corner just floats it out there and has it complete to Kenny Roberts. Roberts down the sideline inside the 20. Ed Robinson, one of the inside linebackers, knocked him out of bounds, but it's a gain of 20.
Sleepy Robinson rolling to the left will have Kenny Roberts in the flat. He had 3 receivers to one side. See how wide open he is? He's against the linebacker. Number 41, Ed Robinson, didn't get wide enough at the snap of the ball, and that opened Kenny Roberts wide open.
Will White, the safety, the All-American, had to come up to take him out of bounds after Robinson was unable to get him. Another first down for the Bulldogs and an impressive opening drive, their 5th of the opening drive. Robinson, another quarterback draw, 5-7 yards. Tackled by Carlton Miles, number 31, had him around the ankles.
Well, I'm sure Ron Zook, the defensive coordinator of Florida, can't wait to get his people on the sideline. He hasn't seen this formation before. All of a sudden, his players are seeing something they haven't practiced against for 10 days, and Mississippi State is taking advantage of the Florida defense.
And this is a nightmare for a defensive coach because you can't make the changes on the fly.
This wouldn't be a bad time to take a timeout and get them over there and try to adjust a little bit, but you don't want to spend a timeout, but if you don't, you're going to give up 7.
2nd and 3. They've only stopped him on a couple of plays the entire drive. Prince, the fullback, leans forward near the 12, about 2 yards shy of a first down. Hanks was again in on the tackle.
Florida's a young defense. They lost a lot of starters last year, and Ron Zook told me they became a little unglued in Tennessee with the crowd. And he told him tonight, let's just have fun. 11 people to the ball, and let's just have some fun. But right now, they've got pressure on them to try to hold Mississippi State out of the end zone.
Actually missing the top 6 linemen from a year ago, all 4 starters. 13th play of this drive coming up. Robinson on the toss. Roberts with a saving pickup, and he's got the first down. Holy cow. He bounced it off the shoulder pads of the fullback, William Prince. It came right to Kenny Roberts. What a break.
Sleepy Robinson made a big mistake here. He pitches the ball to the fullback. He takes his eyes off of the tailback. He pitched it to number 2, William Prince, who's a blocker. But number 32, Randy Brown, alert, picked the ball up and still gained good yardage for the first down.
That is a huge break. Look at this drive. Already 6 minutes and 13 seconds, eating up 77 yards. They'll lose a yard on this one. The Gators really came up and hammered Randy Brown that time. Carter, Robinson, Will White, the safety. Boy, Carter had they said he had the best game of his career against Tennessee. 12 tackles. A guy who is 6'4", 264, runs 4.55 40. Nothing new about speed in the state of Florida. 2nd and 10.
Here's where Sleepy Robinson is looking to Watson Brown after the play's called to adjust to a different play.
3 wide receivers to the near side. He rolls that one. Floating it for Truitt. In or out. The officials confer. Nobody makes a call. Touchdown.
Orlando Truitt, number 80 on the inside, running a corner route against man coverage. Wide open, and he kept his feet in bounds for the touchdown.
Chris Gardner, the point after. Florida gives up an opening drive touchdown, and Robinson finished it off. Watch the feet. Looked like the second one may have touched the edge of the line, but it counts.
Take one.
ESPN's Thursday Night CFA is brought to you by Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation, and by Goodyear, #1 in tires. Mississippi State took the opening kickoff, drove 86 yards in an impressive drive, and as Mike Gottfried told you at the beginning of our game just a few minutes ago, the new wrinkles the coaches put in during the 10 days off, that was a direct result of that touchdown.
You're right, Mike. Total drive of new wrinkles that Florida now will have to work on the sideline.
Chris Gardner will kick to number 3, Larry Kennedy, number 84, Harrison Houston. Kennedy set a school record a year ago. Bobble in the end zone. Now down it there. Florida will take over at the 20.
On the touchdown play, Sleepy Robinson was lined up in a formation. He now is looking over to Watson Brown, who's looking at the defense. Watson Brown then signals him to play after he sees the design defense to put himself in the best position for this play, the pass to number 80, Orlando Truitt.
Boy, it was so close. That left foot came down right at the edge. The officials conferred for maybe 7 or 8 seconds before they make the call. That's got to be the toughest call they have.
Good at home.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are the kind of calls you expect to get at home.
You're not saying they're looking at each other and saying, where are we?
Start, Bill.
86 yards, 7:15 off the first quarter clock. And we had a penalty on the kick. And the kicking team is going back. It looked like Mississippi State was offside, so they have to do it again.
A lot of people at Parker High School in Birmingham, Alabama, happy with Orlando Truitt's pass.
Transfer from Pitt.
Ron Zook, the defensive coordinator, will draw up. You see him drawing up the no back sets and the trip set. This is something they didn't work on in the 10 days. Now, they've seen it before, but the emphasis was on 3 backs in the backfield and not the no back set. Now, he'll make his adjustments, tell them what they're going to do, and then try to coach them up a little bit on the sideline so they'll see it when they go back in.
But that defense is so young. Only one guy back from the front 8 from a year ago. How quickly can they pick something like that up?
Well, it's going to be important they pick it up quick.
Kennedy will have a chance this time from the 4. Got a seam. Nice return by Kennedy out to the 37-yard line. 33-yard return. Let's go to Jerry Punch.
Mike, you were exactly right when you're talking about Florida was not expecting the no back or the 1 back. They are making some serious adjustments. Jim Collins, the inside linebacker coach here on the Florida bench, talking to his inside linebackers, totally readjusting their reads for the no back set, particularly the 1 back set where the motion back pulls an inside linebacker and leaves possibly as many as 2 receivers wide open. He is talking to his young linebacking core right here on the Florida bench, trying to hurriedly make some adjustments. Back upstairs.
Now the Gators have a chance on offense. Thanks, Jerry, and we'll keep coming back to you. Eric Rett, coming off an ankle injury, is stuffed as he got back to the line of scrimmage. Kevin Henry made the tackle. Of course, the Gators quarterback, Heisman candidate Shane Matthews, trying to become the SEC Player of the Year 3 times. It's only been done once. One of his favorite targets, Willie Jackson, who was second in the SEC in catches last year, first in touchdowns. A very young line, including first-year tackle Reggie Green, the first true freshman on the line for the Gators since Lomas Brown, who's now an All-Pro for the Lions. Matthews back to throw. Slipped down. The knee went down, and then he sacked at the 29-yard line. In college ball, once the knee touches, the play is over. Take a look at that Mississippi State defense. They're solid up front. Left end Jerome Brown, the team leader in sacks with 3 through 3 games. Exceptional linebackers with leading tackler Daniel Boyd, a true star, a consensus All-SEC pick and Butkus candidate. In the secondary, junior Kelvin Knight, 2-year starter and free safety. He has 4 interceptions in his last 12 games. Gators all of a sudden facing 3rd and 18. 4-man rush. Matthews, sideline, got it out near midfield to Harrison Houston out of Pensacola, and it's a first down, Florida. Gain of 23.
Excellent throw by Shane Matthews. Now, he goes to a no-back offense. Harrison Houston, number 84, is going to run the same corner route that Alanda Truitt scored for Mississippi State. Wide open, first down.
Florida in Mississippi State territory. Matthews back to throw. Flanker screen. Down to the 40-yard line. Willie Jackson out of Gainesville, knocked out of bounds by Mark Woodard. Matthews, 2-time SEC Player of the Year, Heisman candidate. Just tremendous numbers at the University of Florida. He will hold so many SEC and Gator records by the time he is done. He's just had a storied career. Eric Rett. Not much there. And this is a solid Mississippi State defensive unit. Matthews, 20-5 as a starter. And he had thrown for at least 200 yards in 18 straight games until they played Tennessee. And just some of the numbers that he has put up. And, Mike, I know a lot of people say, well, he's a product of the system. But even though the system may be suited for him, he has done great things.
He has matured in the system. He's running a no-back offense now to try to get a little edge against the Mississippi State defense. Show them something a little different.
Second and 10. Changing the play. Back to throw. Floats it over the middle. Keller, the tight end, made the catch and stayed in bounds. Mark it at the 21. Greg Keller with only his 3rd catch of the year.
Bill Clay, the defensive coordinator, said about Shane Matthews, he makes the right decisions. Here he's going to hit his tight end, 89, Greg Keller, on an out route. Just underplayed a little bit by number 24, Charlie Davidson.
Keller would have been the starter a year ago, but was hurt at the beginning of the season. Matthews already 3 out of 3, 48 yards. Rett on the toss. Lost his balance. At the 23, and you get the impression that the ankle is bothering him right now.
Yeah. Mike, he never had a chance really to get out of the offensive backfield there, but the no back and the no huddle that they're mixing up a little bit, Florida, is keeping Mississippi State now in a select defense. So they can't move around in different defenses either. Both coaches will
want those headsets. Second and 12. Rett the single set back, and Matthews on a little roll. Floats it to the sideline, complete to Houston inside the 10. They'll mark it at the 8-yard line. Harrison Houston got away from strong safety Frankie Luster.
Shane Matthews is taking the knife now and carving right this defense. Mississippi State's playing a lot of zone coverage. They're locked into coverages because of the no huddle, and he's just got receivers running wide open.
Matthews, 4 out of 4, 63 yards. Rett finally had a little room to run, not much, inside the 5, near the 4.
This is Bill Clay in the center of your screen, the defensive coordinator of Mississippi State. Now, Ron Zook on the other side's on the field. Bill Clay's in the press box. He'll call down to his linebacker coach to make the adjustment, but he's going to have some adjustments to make when his defense comes off the field.
Out of the eye this time, play action, and Matthews just got rid of that one. Under an awful lot of pressure, Luster, a strong safety blitz, got to him. A lot of pressure from Juan Long, number 40 also.
Florida was guessing on man coverage. They guessed right, just didn't have time. They were trying to bring their tight end all the way across the field, number 89, Greg Keller. Now it's a key 3rd and 5. They're going to huddle.
And what happens after this if they don't make it, Mike? They have had problems with field goals. Brad Edmiston has missed all 3 of his tries. He's number 19, a freshman from Pensacola. They may end up going for it on 4th down. 3 wide receivers to the left. Matthews rolls that way. A flag is down. Matthews into the end zone, and it's a touchdown to Harrison Houston. Now we'll check the penalty. And this one will come back.
Dead ball foul. False start by the offense.
So no touchdown for the Gators. It will back them up 5.
Eric Rhett, number 33, the lone running back, just moves a little bit, and that's the penalty.
Still 3rd and goal, but back near the 10 now. Again, trips left. Five-man rush. Rhett for Houston. He couldn't hold. Shane Matthews with great touch on every pass he's made. It looked like Houston had a chance to make the touchdown grab there.
It's a good drive by Shane Matthews. Good plan. The middle receiver, 84. Harrison Houston's going to run the corner route. Open. Ball can't be thrown any better than that.
Right through his hands. Now Edmiston on to try from 27. He has missed all 3 from very short distance. Gets on the board. So the pressure is off of Bart Edmiston, the freshman place kicker for the Gators, and they've cut the lead to 4. That's Bart Edmiston, the rookie place kicker, the freshman place kicker, that is, who was 0 for 3 coming in, hits the field goal, gets the Gators on the board. Each team has had 1 possession. They have each scored. We only have 4 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first period. Edmiston does not handle this kickoff. It will be Ryan Rulin, a junior, kicking to Roberts and James. Roberts 29, James, ever so dangerous, number 25. James from the 5 lost the ball. And is hammered out of bounds at the 10-yard line. And it was Ben Hanks, the bandit back, downfield to nail it. Major League Baseball comes your way tomorrow night with a live doubleheader at 7:30. Well, you'll see a doubleheader and you'll see the pennant race. Detroit against Toronto. Then at 10:30, most of you will see Milwaukee against Oakland. Right now, the Brewers are 2.5 games out of first place. They play Seattle later tonight. They can cut it to 2 and then have a 3-game series with Oakland starting tomorrow night. That is the only pennant race left. Let's see what kind of adjustments Florida was able to make on defense. Robinson behind Prince. That's the same play they started the ball game with, and just about the same result as he got all the way out to the 20. Ed Robinson made the tackle. Let's check in with Jerry Punch. Jerry?
A little bit ago, we showed you some of the adjustments being made on the Florida defensive side. Ron Zook, who's a defensive coordinator and also the defensive back coach, said in the trips formation, they're going to try to go to overrun, man coverage. They're going to overrun the side of the trips to man coverage because they're getting beat in the zone back there with 1 extra receiver. Back upstairs.
All right, Jerry, thank you. We'll see how that works. They were shredded on the first possession as Mississippi State just marched right down the field. sort of a wing-back reverse. They give it to Tony James, who breaks a couple of tackles. Carlton Miles, the linebacker, had to chase him down. Excuse me, that was Kenny Roberts, who was the #3 all-time rusher in Mississippi State history.
Key block on that, Mike, was by Shea Bell, number 69. A little counter play where they used Shea Bell to trap the defensive end. Number 69, the right guard's going to make the block. There's the kick out on Myrick Anderson, number 26. Then a missed tackle. Kenny Roberts down the sideline, big yardage.
Mississippi State on the move again, now after their own 37-yard line in a rapidly moving first quarter. Roberts, the man in motion. Robinson, another quarterback draw, and this time the Gators were there to stop him. Up front for Florida, sophomore, redshirt freshman. Behind them, 2 true freshmen and a senior. Now, it makes you wonder how they were ranked in the top 5 preseason polls when you have 4 guys up front that are that young.
Well, Steve Spurrier told us, he said, I was amazed we were ranked that high with all the people we lost.
Now, these are good players. There's no doubt about it. They are just very inexperienced. 2nd and 7. Barnard goes across early, number 97. He's a true freshman in there right now at the right defensive tackle. 6'2", 307. Just a growing boy. Give him a chance to put a little on that frame. He'll be 330 before you know.
Foul. Dead ball foul. Offside defense.
Of course, the Gators expected to have an all-star defensive lineman, Darren Mickle, who many considered to be the best defensive lineman in the country coming back this year. He was suspended for rule violations, then went in the supplemental draft. Harvey Thomas, still not back from a broken leg from last year. William Gaines blew out a knee the week before the season. There goes 3 of your starters. Robinson on the option. Gives it to the fullback, William Prince, and Prince breaks a tackle, 30-25. Before tonight, William Prince did not have a carry this season. He was the starter a year ago. This time he rips up 28 yards.
This is Melvin Hayes. He's 6'6", 310 pounds. That the Mississippi State coaches moved him to tight end this week. They didn't have a tight end, Mike. They moved him to tight end, and he was a tackle, a backup offensive tackle. I'll tell you a little bit more about him in a second.
A scary sight if he gets into the secondary. 105 yards rushing in the first quarter. Robinson again looking to the sideline to change the play. Quarterback draw again. And again, a big hole. Kevin Carter makes the tackle.
Watson Brown told me that on Melvin Hayes, they came out in the Memphis State game. They couldn't run to the tight end side. They didn't feel they had a tight end. They talked on the way back in the bus. They said, let's move Melvin Hayes. They told him on Monday they were moving him to tight end. His number was 64. He ripped it off. He says, give me that 84. He spatted his shoes. He taped them up like a receiver. He ran out in the field, and he said, I'm now a football player. I don't have to be like those linemen and beat each other up anymore. I'm a skilled athlete.
2nd and 4. Robinson on the option. Roberts. Boy, the speed on Del Spear, the corner who just chased him down.
The secondary of Florida, Del Spear, number 4, Will Wright, number 2, really reacted to this option. Look at number 2. Just fly up there on the pitch. Now, when you see both defensive backs come up that quickly, you know one thing Watson Brown's thinking on the sideline, the coaches in the press box, post pattern behind them by the wide receiver for the easy touchdown. That's how you control them.
Boy, they did come flying up, too.
You have to control them on the option.
Mississippi State has converted every third down situation so far. The Bulldogs want to spend a timeout here with 1:01 in the first quarter to talk about it. We'll be back in a moment. 7-3, Mississippi State leading Florida first quarter. This is only the 3rd possession of the quarter on the first 2. Each team has managed to score. 3rd and 6 here for the Bulldogs from the Gator 23.
Mike, keep your eye on Kenny Roberts, 29.
Robinson rolling. The blitz is on. He throws it. End zone. Out of bounds. Fred Ward made the diving catch. Looked like he dragged both feet in the end zone.
Both teams having success with this corner route. Sleepy's just a little late delivered. You see the little hesitation if he'd have thrown a little bit sooner. Wow. I don't know about that one. Yeah,
he got him down.
Let's look at it again.
Right one's down, left one's right. He got it.
Got a touchdown there.
What a tough break. Mississippi State loses 6 there. Now they'll have to go for 40-yard field goal. Gardner lines it through. Chris Gardner now 7 out of 9, has the big smile on his face as he got away with one. And Steve Spurrier says unbelievable.
Chris Gardner, Larry Kennedy got a great jump on the left side. Number 3 almost blocked. You see the ball just tipped it.
Barely got through, but it counts. Gardner, the only 2 he's missed this year, had a bad snap on one, had another one blocked. Otherwise, he's been perfect. Well, the SEC has always been known for defensive football. You'd think we were out in the whack tonight. They just can't stop each other.
Boy, they're having trouble. Both offenses just in sync with the extra time that they've had, and they're just really executing fundamentally very strong.
Gardner will tee it up at the 35. First possession, Mississippi State went 86 yards for a touchdown. Then Florida drove 53 for a field goal. Mississippi State has just gone 67 for a field goal, barely missed a touchdown.
Pete Jenkins, a defensive line coach, they had made their adjustments. Now they get their second chance on the field.
Right. Gardner will kick to Larry Kennedy and Harrison Houston. We've already had 2 very, very close calls in the end zone. Crushed this time and all the way out of the end zone. He just nailed that one. ESPN, of course, your home for the best in college football every Saturday. And starting at 11:30 in the morning, Chris Lee and Craig will preview the entire day for you. Then we go off to Madison, Wisconsin at 12:30. The Badgers against Ohio State. And at 7 o'clock, the Residents Inn scoreboard show all the scores and highlights. And at 7:30, our CFA primetime matchup. Back to the SEC, Tennessee and LSU. I know that's how I spend my Saturday. I hope you'll join us. Gators take over at their own 20. Red. Boy, he drilled as he got to the line of scrimmage. Jimmy Miles, number 62. Let's go to Jerry Punch. Doctor?
Guys, as much as the no back has confused the Florida defense, the no huddle has done the same thing for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Now, Pete Jenkins a moment ago was telling his young players, guys, stay right at the line of scrimmage. See him standing right at the ball, looking at the sidelines to get a quick signal from Jim Tompkins, the inside linebacker coach, is watching the signal. Everyone yell it out so we all know we were in 2 different defenses in the last couple plays on the last drive. Back upstairs.
All right, thanks, Jerry. 19 seconds to go first quarter, and Matthews is back to throw. Gets it out to the sideline to Trey Everett out of Washington, D.C. Edward Williams takes care of him, but it's another first down.
Jerry was talking about that you have to get hand signals because you don't get a chance to huddle on defense against the no huddle on offense, so you have to hand signal everything to everybody.
They'll wind the clock, and the Gators will not be able to get off a play before it comes down to 0. That's the end of the first period of play. Both offenses shining. It's 10-3, Mississippi State. Quarter from Starkville, Mississippi. We've had 3 possessions, 3 scores. Gators have it back down by a touchdown. First and 10 from their own 32. Matthews. And slipping as he went for it was Trey Everett.
The Florida offense under Steve Spurrier, I've always felt like, is a mirage offense. You feel like when you play him, you have to stop the pass, but where he beats you is the rushing game. 50% of the time, they're running the football under Steve Spurrier, and that's where they have their greatest success.
And a guy who was so underpublicized was Eric Rett, who led the SEC in rushing a year ago. Almost nobody outside of the SEC heard him. They just heard of Shane Matthews. Here comes the blitz. Matthews with time. Complete. Everett has it at the 45-yard line. Knight took him out of bounds, but it's a first down. This kid does not have a gun, but he has incredible touch on the ball.
He understands Steve Spurrier's system. He's going to be under great pressure here. He just sits in the pocket. Juan Long, number 40 on the blitz. He just throws the corner route to Trey Everett, number 24, for a big-time completion.
And when people look at Matthews, they talk about maybe his lack of pro potential. Well, the Heisman is not for pros. It's for college players. He's a great college player. Rhett on the toss, and they are waiting for Eric Rhett. Arlie Gibson makes the tackle along with Keith Joseph.
If I was Shane Matthews, I'd get tired of hearing that I'm a product of the system.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm performing on the football field. I don't care what the system is. I'm throwing completions. I got Juan Long, number 40, in my face. I'm taking a football team to successful wins. I mean, I'm a good quarterback, and he is a good quarterback.
And he's breaking every record there is in the Southeastern Conference. Still running the no huddle. The ground game has produced only 6 carries for 5 yards. Second and 11. Chris Bilkey, the fullback, on the draw. Bilkey down to the 41-yard line. Daniel Boyd, the consensus preseason All-SEC pick, number 41, made the tackle.
In last year's game, Mississippi State played Florida in a 4-man front. They're a 3-4 team, but they changed. And they went down there and just got shredded. So they came back this year and said, hey, we're going to play them in our defense.
And the Sporting News said this is the second best linebacking corps in the nation. 3rd and 6. Comes the blitz. Matthews, screen. Got to Rhett. No blockers, but he's got the first down. To the 20-yard line. Looked like a screen, but there was nobody out there, and Rhett picked up 21 yards.
Talked about a mirage offense. Eric Rhett lined up as the lone running back. Now he's against a linebacker inside. See, he just released right away. They blitzed. He came out. There's nobody on him. Picks up big yardage.
And Shane Matthews has been brilliant so far. Needed that first down and got it at the 20. Neither team has been able to stop the other. Matthews with a quick set goes to Jackson. 10. Dragging people with him inside the 5 near the 3-yard line. Charlie Davidson had to make the tackle, and Willie Jackson, whose dad played for the Gators from 69 to 73, makes another big catch.
Just a quick read by Shane Matthews. Just raised up, hit Willie Jackson on a quick slant. You see his eyes. He knows where he's going with the football. Hey, Thursday night must be Heisman night. I mean, we bring out the best in the Heisman hopefuls.
Well, he has been sensational tonight. First and goal, Florida from the 3. 8 out of 11, 134 yards for Matthews. Tight formation this time, and Rhett cuts it back. Put the head down, got maybe a yard and a half. Jimmy Miles, Juan Long, and Frankie Luster were waiting for him. Steve Spurrier very involved in the offense. Certainly deserves his reputation as an offensive genius. That word's tossed around a lot, but he deserves it.
I don't think there's any doubt. We talk about system. He has a system that he can win with wherever he's at.
Rhett, the deep man. And everybody moved early. Looked like he tried to change the play. Had 3 or 4 guys jump early. The second time the Gators have been at the 5 or inside and had a procedure penalty. That is not part of Steve Spurrier's system.
We got a dead ball foul, snap infraction on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Two different styles of head coaches tonight. You have a style of a CEO on one side, Jackie Sherrill, and a coach that's really involved making every play call offense on the other side.
Still second and goal, but now back at the 7. changing again. Here comes the blitz. Throws to the end zone and incomplete again. It looked like Harrison Houston had a shot to catch it and it went through his hands.
Edward Williams, number 20, came off of the defender, came off the receiver is on, and made a pretty good defensive play on this to, I think, get a hand on it or at least get his hands in the way. Number 20, see him come off his receiver, get his hand up there, just enough to maybe deflect it or put his hands in the eyes of the receiver.
Boy, there's two that Harrison Houston would like to have another shot at. 3rd and goal from the 7. Another impressive drive for the offense. Matthews into the flat. This could be picked up, and it is. Frankie Luster. Matthews, the last man back, and he saved the touchdown. Just an awful decision by Shane Matthews to throw that pass, and Frankie Luster returned it 41 yards.
Shane Matthews had 3 receivers to the right side, but the player he's going to try to hit is the back coming out of the backfield, Eric Rett. Just waits a little too long, throws it too far. Frankie Luster with a big interception.
Mississippi State with a break. They have it at the Gator 49. Prince, the single setback behind Robinson. And whistles will stop the play.
Looked like the tight end moved for Mississippi State, but that was another call that Watson Brown was making from the sideline.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Shane Matthews had been nearly letter perfect until that throw.
He saved a touchdown.
Yes, he did.
Took off after he threw the interception and played defensive back and saved the touchdown.
Mark it back at the Mississippi State 46, 1st and 15. Robinson, now he wants to throw, and had it batted down near the line of scrimmage. Carlton Miles and Henry McMillan both had their hands up. 31 and 60.
Mississippi State offense is not an offense designed for long yardage situations. They have to stay out of 2nd and long and 3rd and long. Now the screen play, the screen draw option play becomes something that you try to use with the Sleepy Robinson, who has great speed.
3 wide receivers to the near side again. Robinson will roll that way and keep it. Waiting for him. And it looks, we talked about the adjustments the Florida defense would have to make. It looks like they have made excellent adjustments.
They've settled down. They're playing the linebacker over the no back and the one set over the center to be responsible for Sleepy Robinson. So Ron Zook has settled his defense down. Their booths right to the left of us have been some very active coaches in the booth.
Some frantic activity in there. 3rd and 15. Facing Mississippi State, and that young, the front 8 of the Florida Gators had 1 starter back from a year ago. 1. Robinson, a little half roll again. Sets in the pocket, throws. Complete. Got it to Willie Harris, almost through the hand of All-American safety Will White. Good throw by Robinson.
3rd and long, Sleepy Robinson rolls to the right. He'll get his feet set up. Pulls up. Now he gets his feet under him. Throws a strike to Willie Harris. Now these 3 receivers, Willie Harris, Fred Ward, and Orlando Truitt. You're going to see Harris, number 87, on the out route. They're as good as 3 receivers you're going to see in the country.
They just don't get the publicity because Mississippi State doesn't throw that much. The fullback, Prince, pounds his way down to the 30. Once again, Ed Robinson, number 41, out of Tafuniak Springs, Florida, made the tackle.
You talk about these receivers. They have to be unselfish because they're blocking 70–80% of the time for the option. But they have to sell the block, because if they don't block, then when it's time for the play action, they're not going to be open. So they have to really do a great job on blocking, be unselfish, wait for their turn to get the ball.
Clock running with 10:13 to go in the half. It's 10-3 Mississippi State. Bulldogs driving for more. Prince got absolutely nothing out of that one. Carlton Miles was there again, and David Barnard. Jackie Sherrill out of football for a couple of years after he resigned under pressure at Texas A&M. 9th winningest active coach in the country in percentage terms, nearly 70% of his games. And he was just itching to get back into business.
He had an interesting point. He said when he was out of football, he has a different perspective now that he's back. He thinks he manages players better and coaches better.
3rd and 4. Trips left. Robinson goes that way. Here's the blitz. He has time. Almost picked off by Del Spear. Intended for Willie Harris, and Spear with excellent coverage.
Florida brought some pressure with the linebacker and manned up in coverage, and Del Spear, number 4, was right on Willie Harris.
With that secondary, you'd think they would be able to blitz a little bit.
Well, I think they feel like they have to now change the momentum a little bit, so you bring people.
Gardner will try the field goal. They'll spot it at the 37-yard line. This will be 47. He's already hit one from 40. Had the distance, but just wide. That might have been good from 55 as Gardner crushed it, but it's wide, and the score remains 10-3. ESPN's Thursday Night CFA is brought to you by Buick and your local Buick dealers. Remember Buick, the new symbol for quality in America. And by Pioneer Home Theater. You don't just watch it. Mitchell Memorial Library on campus here at Mississippi State. Back to action with 9:17 to go. First half of play. Gators have the ball back down by a touchdown. Eric Rett on the toss. Cuts it outside. Just ran over Kelvin Knight, the free safety.
Let's take another look at that field goal by Chris Gardner. Now, you be the judge at home. Is this good or not? As it just comes over the crossbar. What do you think? I'll tell you what the kicker thinks. Chris Gardner thought he had it all the way. No doubt in his mind until the official rules it. No good.
You know, I've never thought the officials ought to be where they are to call those field goals good or not. I think they ought to be 15 yards behind the uprights. Matthews, little half roll. Everett makes the catch. 46-yard line. Let's go to Jerry Punch.
Bit of a sigh of relief here on the Florida sideline. Shane Matthews throwing that pass. He got his right arm stepped on, the right elbow stepped on when he made that game-saving tackle a minute ago with the interception. He had an ice pack on the right arm. Meanwhile, up front, Rich McGeorge, the offensive line coach, totally rearranging the 50 and 60 protection to try to keep the outside linebackers from getting to Shane Matthews on the outside. Back upstairs.
All right, Jerry, and he was pounded in the last game by Tennessee as the Volunteers really came after him. Rhett cuts it back inside. Not much there as he was nailed by Herman Carroll, number 96 out of Natchez, Mississippi.
Well, quarterbacks don't practice, they don't practice tackling. So when you throw an interception, you just bring him down any way you can. So it doesn't surprise me that he hurt his elbow in that tackle.
3rd and 5. Rhett gets the direct toss. Made a couple of cuts and fights his way to the 50-yard line, but he'll still be a couple of yards shy of the first down. Determined run by Eric Rhett.
Florida needs to spring Eric Rhett on draws, and just like the counter, this is a counter toss play where it looks like it's going to be a toss one way and he comes back the other way.
Now it's going to be 4th and a long 1. And the Gators have not sent the punting team out. Steve Spurrier will do things like this, the kind of thing that endears him to Gator fans, and the kind of thing that also scares you to death. And now Mississippi State has taken a timeout. 7:25 to go in the half. 3, Mississippi State over Florida. And now for tonight's U.S. Army student of the game, he is Mississippi State linebacker Dan Boyd, a microbiology major with a 3.31 grade point average, on target to graduate in December, and then plans to attend dental school. Somebody in the NFL may have other plans for him. Consensus all SEC choice. 4th and 1, the Gators go for it from midfield. Rhett cuts it back, got the first down. They were waiting for it. Now there is a flag down. May have been motion early.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense.
Right guard, number 73, Jim Watson, wants to pull. May move just a hair too soon. That's the call.
So now the Gators will not go for it on 4th and 6.
They've had 3 critical motion penalties.
And he was the only returning starter on the offensive line. Shane Edge comes in to punt for the first time. Was 4th in the NCAA a year ago, and he will be kicking to a dangerous return man, Tony James, the all-time leader, who could have a half dozen SEC return records to his credit before he's done. Edge bombs one. And James will let it go, takes a Gator bounce, and it's downed inside the 5-yard line. Florida got down there in a hurry, and Pete Archie, number 6, downed it. A punt of 50 yards. Hope you'll be with ESPN this coming Sunday. We'll have NASCAR's Tyson's Holly Farm 400 from North Wilkesboro. The battle for the Winston Cup Point Championship rages on. Bill Elliott in the lead, followed by Davey Allison, Alan Kulwicki, and Harry Gann. Of course, our Dr. Jerry Punch will be there to help cover that. Jerry, by the way, we keep calling him doctor. That's because he is the director of emergency services at Memorial Hospital in Flagler, Florida, just north of Daytona Beach. Mississippi State gets the ball back. Let's check in with the doctor himself.
In 1974, the SEC outlawed external noisemakers like this cowbell, which has been a tradition here for a long time in Mississippi State. The tradition began in the early days when a Jersey milk cow wandered on the field and they won the football game. It became a good luck charm. Well, the cow is gone, but the bell remains. Now, I think it's pretty difficult for you to get a bull to walk within a mile of this stadium. But tonight, the bull's bells are here. Back up there.
Sounds like a lot of bull to me.
I'm not touching it. We'll get into that story in a minute about the bull incident here at Mississippi State. 2nd down and long. Robinson with another quarterback draw, and the Gators seem to have figured out that play. The story, and Jackie Sherrill has taken a lot of heat about it. He's apologized for it. Before they played the Texas Longhorns, keep the word Longhorns in mind, he asked his players if they knew what a steer was, and they said no. So they brought a bull out here and castrated it, became a steer. Now they know, and he took some kind of heat for that. Donald Zacharias, the president of Mississippi State University, reprimanded the coach, and Jackie Sherrill says, it's just made a mistake.
I didn't realize Jackie majored in livestock.
Robinson on the draw, has another first down, fighting off tacklers after the 30. Larry Kennedy, the left corner, had to make the tackle, and Robinson is down. Injured in the first game with a very bad thigh bruise. Sat out the second half against Texas. And looks like he's in quite a bit of pain right now.
He was hit in the Texas game by Lance Gunn. He tried to go up over the top on a touchdown run. This is a counter all the way. See the guard and tackle pull from the backside. Now Sleepy works up the field. There's the hit on the left knee. There's the shot right there. Looked by Larry Kennedy, I believe.
And really, he seemed to hyperextend himself on the step just before that, a lot like the Bo Jackson injury.
In the Texas game, Greg Plump, number 10, came in right away. Watson Brown threw the football. has a lot of confidence in the junior, 5'11", 211 pounds. So they'll miss a little bit with Sleepy Robinson's experience, but I don't think they'll change their offense.
Jackie Sherrill checking on his quarterback.
You know how important Sleepy is. Watson Brown was on the field, and there's Jackie halfway out to check on him.
You bet. Robinson with a sensational first half. 136 yards in total offense, rushing for 79, passing for 57. The storyline from Scott Field with a sellout crowd of over 40,000. Shane Matthews has been exceptional except for the one bad pass. Red has been held tight on the ground, and Robinson has been the Mississippi State offense. And they have kept the ball away from that Gator offensive unit. And Robinson now limping noticeably as he comes off the field and cannot put any weight on that left leg.
Mike, if he can't come back in, this is a real drastic blow for Mississippi State, because your second-team quarterback just doesn't get as many snaps in practice. He can't be ready like Sleepy Robinson.
Greg Plump, a junior, 5'11", 200 pounds, played against Texas this year, 0 for 3 in the passing department. Prince, the fullback, gets it on the delay. Ellis Johnson was in on the tackle, and Robinson at the sideline. And Jerry Punch will be checking on him.
What you'd like to do with Greg Plump in the game, Watson Brown just like to bring him around slowly, give him a play there to hand the ball off, give him some things safe to do. If he's going to throw the ball, give him a little short pass that he can get some confidence with.
The other quarterback is Todd Jordan, the punter. More of a pure passer. Roberts. Nowhere to go as the Gators' Ed Robinson was waiting for him.
The other thing when you look at this is kind of shoot your game plan a little bit too, because the game plan as we watched it unfold was to open it up for Sleepy Robinson. No back sets, trip sets to try to get Sleepy with the football. Now you have to change that a little bit.
3rd down and 8. And another injured player, that's Shea Bell, the 287-pound junior right guard from West Point, Mississippi. He's limping badly as he comes off. Mississippi State 5 out of 7 in converting 3rd down. Plump on that little half roll, guns it sideline, complete to Truitt. It's enough for the 1st down. And a good throw by Greg Plump.
Watson Brown called Greg Plump's number. It's a roll out to the right where he has Alanda Truitt in the flat. Harris is on the curl clearing, and there's Alanda Truitt just inside the sticks for the 1st down.
Spotted just outside the Mississippi State 42-yard line, 1st down. Clock winding down, nearing 4 minutes in the 1st half. The fullback, Michael Davis, pounds straight ahead. If you want the definition of a bad game, Ellis Johnson, the sophomore lineman, goes with all of his young teammates to Tennessee. They are beaten. Then on the way back, they're flying at 30,000 feet. About a minute later, they're at 10,000 feet. The cabin depressurizes. All the oxygen masks come down. Ellis Johnson didn't want to be on an airplane in the first place, and he drove 500 miles to get to this game. Way to go, Ellis.
If I was coaching this team, I'd have been right in the car with him.
2nd and 6. Plump on the option, not this time. And once again, Ed Robinson, who has had a sensational game as an inside linebacker for the Gators.
Florida's trying to move their linebackers around a little bit now. Monty Grohl, number 10, and Ben Hanks, number 11. And then Ed Robinson, number 41, trying to get them involved a little bit more to disguise, to try to confuse Greg Plump.
And you wonder what happened after that brilliant first drive by Mississippi State. It's the adjustments that Mike Godfrey talked about, and the Gators have been able to make them. They're still down 10-3, however, as Mississippi State has the lead with 2:52 to go, 1st half. Another 3rd and 8 for Plump. Here's the blitz, and flags are down. They'll stop the play.
Dead ball foul. False start.
What I think happened to the offensive line of Mississippi State was Florida was showing blitz all the way, and they moved just a little bit because they were showing blitz. The linebackers were up in the gaps, and the outside linebackers looked like they were coming. A little movement in the offensive line.
3rd and 13 now. Clock continues to run. 2:36. And it's unusual that Mississippi State would convert the 3rd and long with their offense. Plump on another half roll. Truitt thrown behind him, and he was covered well by Monty Grove. So Mississippi State with 2:21 to go in the half will have to kick it away. Mike Patrick, Mike Gottfried, and Dr. Jerry Punch with you. This is Todd Jordan, number 5 in the country in punting, leading the SEC. Monty Duncan back to get the kick. That'll work. Duncan all the way back to the 5. Took it back to about the 12-yard line. 55-yard punt by Todd Jordan above his 46-1 average. He returns Mississippi State by a touchdown, but here's the bad news. Here's Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, Sleepy Robinson, sitting on the bench here on Mississippi State sidelines, took one heck of a lick on the field. The doctors have examined his left knee. With the left thigh early in the year at Texas, it's the knee tonight. They said he has a ligament strain. They're not sure how serious it could be. He will not play anymore in the first half. They'll take him in the locker room at halftime. There's a good chance, and hopefully they're wrong, and rarely are they wrong, I might say, that he may not play anymore for 1992.
Yep. Jerry, that, as you know, that would be a terrible break for Mississippi State's offense. They are predicated on Sleepy Robinson. Matthews, no backs. Deep sideline, and Jackson could not run under it. Jack Jackson, the redshirt freshman from Moss Point, Mississippi. 4.4 speed.
They lined Jack Jackson, a wide receiver, up at tailback, then shifted him out, which got him in a little bit of a mismatch with a strong safety. Just ran a streak route, just overthrew him.
Matthews, a little play action fake. Gets it out to Houston, makes the catch, slips a tackle, 27-yard line, then out of bounds. Shane Matthews now 10 out of 15, 152 yards. When he throws that deep out, that ball does tend to stay up there a while, doesn't it?
It does. You see the motion coming across now. 84 Harrison Houston. I think the key on this is the missed tackle. I've seen a lot of missed tackles. Now maybe the open date that you don't practice hitting as much, you just come back a little bit lazy and miss some tackles.
1:55 to go first half. Gators trying to get on the board again. They have a single field goal. Matthews going deep again, throws this one into double coverage. Mississippi State did the best job of the night covering that one. Had Kelvin Knight back there along with Scott Gomina. Knight out of Natchez. Has one interception on the season. Coming in, Mississippi State only had 3 for the year in 3 games. 2nd and 10, Florida. Take the draw again. Matthews under pressure. Underhands the pass, incomplete. What a heady play. The fans are booing because he threw an underhand, but that's legal. Jackie Sherrill really upset as Herman Carroll thought he had the sack, and Sherrill indicating he thought Matthews was already down.
Jackie trying to do a little officiating here to get the attention of the officials, and he felt the knee was down. Good pressure. Now he threw the ball away.
That's a great play. And he almost completed the thing. 3rd and 10. There are 3 wide receivers to the far side. Matthews with time. Intercepted. Daniel Boyd. Boyd dropped back into his hook zone and just got the hands high enough to pull it down.
Number 41, Daniel Boyd, the linebacker. It's his job. You see him in the corner. He's reading the guard right here. So he's checking to see what kind of read he gets first. There's the pass read. So he now drops back in the curl area and sitting in front of the curl route, picks it off with the high interception.
You can try him at wide receiver. Good set of hands. Fine catch. And now Mississippi State with 1:38 to take advantage of the second Florida interception. Loose ball. Ben Hanks picks it up for the Gators. Hanks down the sideline. Knocked out of bounds by William Prince, the fullback. Monty Grove caused the fumble, and Hanks picked it up.
See Ron Zook excited. Even left the coaching box, but he'll get back in there. But Florida tried to pressure Greg Plump. They came with both outside backers, Monty Grove, Ben Hanks, to try to put some pressure on Greg Plump. Caused the fumble. Then was able to pick the fumble up and gain yardage inside the 30.
Looked like Steve Spurrier picked a good young player to give that jersey to. So the Gators get it right back after the interception and set up shop inside the Mississippi State 30 with 1:25 to go in the half.
With 1:30 left on the clock, that's what you didn't want to happen if you're the Mississippi State offensive coaches. You take a chance with Greg Plump to throw the football, and you get a big turnover.
We got the chain gang corrected. They had it going the other way. Rhett gets it on the draw. He'll get 2 or 3. Let's go back and look at that fumble.
Pass play where number 10, Greg Plump, sets up. Now number 10 comes in. Monty Grove comes in with a hit, causes the fumble. Now Florida, alert, picks up the football. Ben Hanks, number 11, and then knows the new rule, picks it up, gets good yardage.
2nd and 8, a gain of 2 for Rhett on the last carry. Matthews forced out of the pocket. Dives forward to the 17-yard line. Matthews got what he could out of that.
Mike, Florida ran the draw, then came back and ran a pass off of the draw, but the linebackers from Mississippi State, perfect reads, saw the pass, got into the curls, covered him.
We've got a timeout with 41 seconds to go in the half. Florida will have a 3rd and 2 when we come back. P. Robinson watching the last 41 seconds of the first half from just outside the Bulldog locker room. The night is over for him. The prognosis is the season may be over for him, and that would be a crushing blow to Mississippi State. 41 seconds to go in the half. Gators 3rd and 2 at the Mississippi State 17. Rhett leaning forward. He needed to just get by the 15-yard line for the first down. It looked like he did that.
Officials are not calling timeout, so they haven't made the first down. Clock is ticking away with 23 seconds. Steve Spurrier, he needs a timeout.
Well, the marker is right, and now they'll have to spend a timeout. That cost him several seconds. I do not understand why the officials didn't stop the clock to bring the chains in.
Well, Steve Spurrier...
Made the decision.
No, that's what he's saying. He said, hey, it's close enough to the first down, and I figured I would have got the timeout call. I didn't get it, so there had to be a quicker reaction from the players to get the timeout. But it was so slow that they didn't get any kind of reaction from the officials, and that's what Steve Spurrier's upset about. See, now he wants the time. He knows he's got to get the timeout right away, but he's upset with the officials.
The point of the ball is at the 15-yard line, and if you look across the field to the far side, the marker is right in the middle of the stripe on the 15-yard line. It looks like if they're short, it can't be more than an inch away from a first down. I don't understand.
Well, that's what Steve Spurrier's saying. He doesn't understand either. He wanted the timeout.
Well, I don't understand a lot, but it's nice to have company.
Now he should have 1 timeout left. The scoreboard says 2. I believe he's only got 1 left. 15 seconds. Now it goes to 1. He's got 15 seconds, so he's still got time for a couple plays to try to throw the ball in the end zone. Yeah, it's a 4th down. He's got to pick up the 1st down. He'll get that.
He does have 1 timeout left. It's 4th and inches. And still, they're not going to measure for it. Coming up at halftime, back to the studio. Chris Fowler will be there. A report on Syracuse going on a 2-year probation. And, of course, our halftime blitz. 4th and an inch. And now the officials stop the play.
The 25-second clock will be turned off.
He said, I don't care about the clock. I want the 1st down.
Rhett trying to get the 1st down. Dives and got it. And then they call the timeout with 9 seconds to go. What an effort by Rhett.
I don't think they called timeout.
No, they didn't. The officials
I think what they're going to do now is try to kill the clock or throw the fade route, one or the other here. As soon as they set it, snap the ball.
And Matthews does the smart thing, throws it right in the ground, stops it with 7. Now he's got a shot maybe at 2 plays.
I would think probably 1. Mike may get 2 off, but I would think 1. He's going to take 1 shot at the end zone here. Well, what a great play here by Eric Rhett. Looks like he's going to be stopped, but watch the heady performance here by reaching the ball out across where he thinks the 1st down mark is. Just a heady play by Eric Rhett.
Senior Kevin Henry, number 91, did all he could.
You can do this with a smart quarterback because he knows he can't get sacked on this play.
3-man rush. Throws in a hurry, incomplete. Wouldn't have done him any good anyway.
No, now you got to take the field goal.
If Rhett catches that ball and stays in bounds, the clock may run out before they could call the time.
He was close enough to the sideline where they hoped that he would get out of bounds, but you're right. I don't know that he would have got out of bounds.
Matthews has missed on his last 6. Edmiston, who made the first field goal tonight from 27 yards in his first of the year, will try this one from 32. And it's good. So Edmiston gets all of the Gator points in the first half. They were deep in Mississippi State territory several times, but could not convert. That's the end of the first half. Mississippi State leading Florida, battle of top 25 teams. To have you back with us. We told you at the beginning of the telecast that 10 days off gave the coaches a chance to put in some new offensive wrinkles. As it turned out, the changes that Mississippi State made led to the only touchdown of the first half.
Well, it did. Mississippi State came out with some no-back offense and then came out with some trips. And they really caught Florida. You see here, there's no linebackers in this frame right here. So they have them outnumbered 5-4, and you're going to see the quarterback draw by Sleepy Robinson. But with Sleepy Robinson injured now, that whole 10-day thing goes out the window. Now, Florida makes an adjustment by trying to put pressure on from the outside. You're going to see number 26, Myrick Anderson, Ed Robinson, number 41, come from the outside. So now Florida's trying to pressure with outside pressure by the outside linebackers.
You mentioned the biggest story of this first half, which is the injury to Sleepy Robinson. And for more on that, let's check in with Dr. Jerry Punch. Jerry?
Well, I spoke with Watson Brown, the offensive coordinator for Mississippi State. Totally changes their offense for the second half. Of course, Plump not nearly as mobile as was Robinson. What they're going to try to do is run the down line option. They know that Florida's going to come after him with the blitz and try to test Plump's ability to be mobile in the pocket. They talked about running some quick catches inside, run the down line option. So we have to throw the ball and throw the ball well to be effective to move the ball in the second half, which is something they'll have to do. And Plump has very little experience at running this offense. Back upstairs.
All right, Jerry, thanks very much. And Plump trying to get his offensive unit together. We'll have the kickoff for the second half from Starkville, Mississippi in a moment. Shane Matthews Got off to a very fast start in the first half. Ended up 10 out of 20, 151 yards, and there's 2 big interceptions. Let's check in with Jerry Punch. Doctor?
Not the news Mississippi State faithful wanted to hear. I spoke with orthopedist Rusty Linton just moments ago. He's examined Sleepy Robinson, torn left anterior cruciate ligament. They'll get an MRI in the morning. Looks like his 1992 season is probably over. The MRI will confirm it. It looks like he's through for the year. Tough break for Mississippi State. Back upstairs.
Boy, sure is, Jerry, and that means Plump will go at quarterback. And the young man will have all the pressure on him. Chris Gardner will kick it away as we start the second half. Larry Kennedy and Harrison Houston are deep to receive. Kennedy holds the school record for kickoff returns. Won't get a chance this time. Houston 7 yards deep, and the Gators will start from the 20. First half stats. Look at the rushing yards for Florida. Only 29 yards, and we emphasized how much they want a balanced offense.
They do, Mike, and you just circle that 29 yards there and keep track of the rushing yards in the second half, because if Florida's going to win this football game, they have to run the football and have to put up some big yards.
And Mississippi State with a decided edge in time of possession. So Matthews, the Heisman candidate, back in the state of Mississippi. He was a high school prep star in Pascagoula. Big homecoming night of sorts for him, and he wants a win in the worst way.
We'll restart the 25-second clock.
And apparently they are having some problems with the 25-second clock. They turned it off near the end of the first half. Bilkey and Rhett are the running backs behind Matthews. And Rhett will get the call on first down again. There's absolutely nothing there. Mark Woodard, number 45, a certain all-SEC pick, made the tackle, and the ball came loose. Mississippi State signaling they have it, and they do. Rhett comes out of the pile with the football, but the officials are already pointing the other way. That would be the 3rd Florida turnover. And Steve Spurrier is really upset.
Florida went to an unbalanced line. Mark Woodard, number 45, is going to take on the block of the back. Stuff the back. Knock him in there. Greg calls the fumble.
Steve Spurrier wanted to know if Brett had the football, how come he gave it to Mississippi State? So Plump will run the offense. There's the option. He breaks it inside. Nailed outside the 16-yard line. Let's see if we can pick up the fumble.
Watch the block of the fullback. He is knocked back in Derek Rhett. Juan Long, number 40, is trying to strip the ball.
And then Woodard did.
Woodard strips it, picks it up.
Great job by Woodard, who helped turn the play in and strip the ball and may have recovered it, although Rhett came out of the pile with it. 2nd and 3.
Got the quarterback draw here.
And they tried it. Right in the way was Ellis Johnson, who stood him up and then got a lot of help.
What happened, Florida looked like, still didn't have the linebacker in the middle. But now, because of the splits of Mississippi State, they're getting a lot of line movement by their defensive tackles, Ellis Johnson and Mark Campbell. And we're able to stop the play of the quarterback draw.
Spotted at the 11, it's 3rd and about 2 yards.
Ron Zook's made some good adjustments. Florida defense played sound football.
Since that opening series, the Florida defense has done very well. They've had to put up with 3 turnovers from the offense. Plump, a little trouble on the handoff. He nearly lost the ball. Tried to get it to his fullback, and it looked like Prince, the fullback, grabbed a hold of it, and he had a little trouble pulling it out, nearly handed it to one of the Gators.
Well, the difference now with Greg Plump in the quarterback, Florida's just going to come out after him with line movement and outside pressure to try to make him to make a bad decision.
So Plump will come off, and Chris Gardner will come on. Gardner, who's hit 1 out of 2, will try this field goal just shy of 30 yards. Got the high snap down, and Gardner eventually a field goal of 29 yards. He is 2 for 3. And Mississippi State has increased its lead again to 7. ESPN's Thursday Night CFA is brought to you by Epson America and by Castrol Syntec, the new synthetic oil that protects in ways other oils can't. That's the Delta Gamma sorority house on campus here at Mississippi State. Nice digs. Shane Matthews waiting for another opportunity. He's had 2 interceptions, and Eric Redd has had a fumble. One of the reasons why the Gators are down 13-6, 12:51 to go third quarter. Chris Gardner teeing it up. Last year, 60% of his kickoffs were touchbacks. This year, 50%. Kennedy and Harrison Houston are back to receive again. And this one is shanked out of bounds. Gators can take it to 35 if they wish. If you joined us late, Mississippi State took the opening possession, brilliant drive, and Truitt caught a 10-yard touchdown pass. Edmiston countered with a field goal, 7-3 in the first quarter. The Gators got on the board. Gardner got a field goal of his own for Mississippi State. The lead back to 7. Florida with another Edmiston field goal made it 10-6. And then Gardner here in the third quarter with a 29-yard field goal. 1 touchdown ball game. Play action, first down. Nobody to throw to, has to run, no place to go. And he's wrapped up by Arlie Gibson, number 90, who was lucky to be playing football. He had brain damage in an automobile accident a year ago where his father was put in a nursing home as an invalid. I mean, just a terrible accident. He had a contusion near his heart. And here he is back as a 264-pound junior, playing the noseman position for Mississippi State. Three-man rush. Matthews gets it out to Houston, breaks a tackle, has a first down out to midfield. You know, Mike, it's almost like Mississippi State they have done a great job defensively. They seem to know when Florida wants to run. They seem to know when they want to pass.
They're doing a good job, and Mississippi State's playing good defense. You see Reggie Green here, the freshman tackle, trying to give good protection for Shane Matthews. He's 6'7", 301 pounds.
Kevin Henry working on him. 4-man rush this time. Matthews has to step up, and they got it. The sack goes to Keith Joseph. The outside linebacker, one of the 4 rushmen on that play.
Mississippi State defensive lineman Pete Jenkins gives them a rock or roll call. If it's a rock call, it's read and react. But on a roll call, they just let it turn them loose. Keith Joseph, number 93, just comes in and makes the sack on Shane Matthews.
Boy, nice spin move to get loose, too. 2nd and 15. Matthews wants a screen. It's not there. Running for his life. Stopped at the 49-yard line. Chased down by Kevin Henry.
Had the screen to his back, and it was well diagnosed by Mississippi State on defense.
They just dropped the linebackers right in the middle of it.
Nice shot. Read it from the snap. No huddle.
This is an outstanding defensive unit. 3rd and 12 for the Gators from their own 49. Matthews having trouble finding anybody. Got it to Jackson. He is drilled. Charlie Davidson nailed him, and there's a flag down on the play. Davidson switched from wide receiver. He may have the most innate ability of anybody in the Mississippi State secondary. Check the call. Oh, and a break for Florida as it's an offside. It would not have been anywhere near a first down. Now it's Jackie Sherrill's turn to be upset.
Gives Florida another chance with the football.
5-yard penalty on the defense. Repeat third down.
Third and 7. And Matthews has to spend a timeout. And Steve Spurrier on the phones upstairs. He'll still face a 3rd and 6 when we come back.
A refreshingly different beer has come together. Why is that such a bright idea?
Why ask why? Try Bud Dry. It drinks easy like a light with real draft taste. No wonder.
Well, there goes the neighborhood.
Yeah. It's attracting such a crowd.
This was not a typical business trip. We spent a lot of time on boats and in canoes traveling into the Amazon. I could not imagine any machine going through more than this Epson did. Sometimes you have to get a key a few times because you knew you were squashing bugs underneath.
In the last 5 years, environmental consultant Richard Fuller has put in over 107,000 unusually grueling miles of business travel. So has his Epson computer.
We dropped the machine into the Amazon and we put it in the sun, let it dry out for a little while. The next day it worked fine. My Epson's been around the world twice. It's fabulous.
One of these engines was filled with Castrol Syntec, a new synthetic oil. The rest with conventional oils. They were then drained and started without oil to prove a point. You see, Syntec's unique molecular structure bonds to engine parts. Lab tests show it leaves a layer of protection far stronger than conventional oil. And if Syntec protects this well now, imagine if you leave it in. Castrol Syntec protects in ways other oils can't.
Tennessee has emerged as a front-runner in the SEC, but can they get past LSU? Find out Saturday on ESPN.
10:19 to go, third quarter. Florida down by a touchdown to Mississippi State. They face a 3rd and 6 from the Bulldog 46. Mike Guthrie, could this be 4-down territory already?
Well, I think it could be. They went on 4th down in their earlier situation with the ball in the 50.
Matthews chased out of the pocket again. Trying to run for it. Got to the 42-yard line. He'll be about 2.5 yards shy. Jerome Brown chased him down.
Now, here's your thought if you're Steve Spurrier. Do you go for it here or do you punt the offense of Mississippi State in the hole? I think maybe I'd punt him in the hole and try to force a turnover on the young quarterback.
I was going to say, that would be the key. If Robinson was still in here, you might go for it.
If Robinson was still on the field, I would go for it.
The wheels are turning, and here comes punter Shane Edge. He only has 42 yards to work with, averaging over 46. Kamina is back to receive the punt.
Of course, Mississippi State into a punt safe, so they can't have a return on because they're playing fake all the way, which there shouldn't be a fake on this play.
They do kick it away, high floating kick. Kamina lets it go out of bounds at the 13. Let's check in with Jerry Punch. Jerry?
You think Mississippi State football has arrived? They just announced the largest home opening crowd in Scott Field history, 38,886. The previous large crowd, ironically, 1986, when this same Mississippi State football team played Florida here and beat them 16-10. Back upstairs.
And, Jerry, that's what Jackie Sherrill has been able to do for this program. They set a season ticket record the last 2 years. Kind of excitement he has brought to this team. Clark gives it to his fullback, William Prince, out of Vicksburg.
Jackie Sherrill told us an interesting story. Somebody who was a senior at Alabama. He went with Bear Bryant to a clinic, and Bear Bryant spoke, and somebody in the crowd after he spoke said, hey, you were at Maryland, Kentucky, Texas A&M, Alabama, all good football schools. He said, you never really would have a tough job. And stared at Bear, and Bear stared for a couple seconds and said, hey, I could have won at William & Mary. And Jackie feels the same way. If you get a commitment from the administration, you can win anywhere.
And it goes down in the record books. A lot of great coaches, they win wherever they go. Triple option, Roberts on the top, shakes a tackle, got it out the 24-yard line. Monty Groh had him in the backfield, couldn't bring him down.
And I might add to that, Lou Holtz won at William & Mary, and Jimmy Laycock, the present coach, is doing a fine job there. Looks like Mississippi State now is a fullback play option. Greg Plump on the option. Here's the toss. Number 10, Monty Groh's in pretty good shape, just doesn't make the play.
Barnard is the injured player, the freshman, who started at defensive tackle. This is a very thin group. No pun intended, as Barnard takes 307 pounds off the field. There are only 7 guys listed on the defensive line. He's a freshman out of Miami, and he looks like he'll be fine. Talk about coaches who have won in tough situations. Steve Spurrier won and won big at Duke.
I'll tell you why he wins. He wins because he has a system. He believes in it. On offense, I don't care what you do to him, he knows the answers to what you're doing on defense. Same way, he believes in a pressure defense.
First down, Mississippi State near their own 25. The new fullback, Michael Davis, number 37. He'll get the call. And a couple of yards. Robinson again was on the bottom of the pile, and Carlton Miles was in there, number 31.
With Greg Plump, the quarterback, and beating the second-team quarterback, now Ron Zook wants to play a little different on defense. You count him here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's a linebacker back here, so they're really crowding the football with 8 people to stop the run.
Let's go to Jerry Punch. Doctor?
Ron Zook, Mike just told his bandit backs and gator backs that they can start disguising the blitz and start coming more. They feel they can exploit the inexperience of Plump at quarterback. Back up there.
2nd and 9. Plump rolls to throw. Deep down the middle. Double coverage. Contact, no flag. Going to say it was incidental contact, and I think that was a good call because the intended receiver, Willie Harris, stumbled and actually initiated the contact with Del Spear.
Well, 2nd and long. It was 2nd and 9 yards. So Greg Plump on the sprint out pass. Willie Harris, number 87. The outside receiver is going to run a post route. Del Spear, number 4, Will White, number 2, play it perfectly. You see, they have him sandwiched, so they're in pretty good shape. There's the little bump. Yeah, I don't know.
Good no call, I thought. 3rd and 9. And Plump, who played against Texas, is yet to complete a pass this season in limited duty. Runs the option. Nice job by Larry Kennedy, the corner, because he was out there on both the quarterback and the pitch man. He wasn't getting any help.
When you play the option, you have to really play discipline because somebody has the fullback. That's usually the defensive tackle linebacker. The outside, the ends got the quarterback, and the outside people, the corners and the backers get the pitch man. Have to stay disciplined.
Jordan, whose first punt was 55 yards, comes on to kick the Monty Duncan, and you have the feeling that from now on it's up to the Mississippi State defense.
It's like a stick of dynamite with Florida on offense. It's lit. Whether it'll go off or not, I don't know.
Another big kick. Duncan has to let it go. Cardinal error on a return man, and the Gators will start from their own 5. Todd Jordan, the 5th-ranked punter in the nation, comes through again. That one was 63. Our CFA Thursday night series will continue next week. Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, and Craig James will preview the college weekend games starting at 7:45 with a weekend kickoff show. Then it's off to Columbia, Missouri for a Big 8 battle as Missouri will face number 10, Colorado. And it appears that the Colorado team has their quarterback situation back in shape.
They do. They've got 2 good ones, Cordell Stewart and Coy Detmer, the young man out of Mission, Texas.
Don't be surprised if Florida throws down here. Well, they don't. They give it up to Eric Gretton. He stopped for a loss of 2. Juan Long makes the stop. We talked about the system that Steve Spurrier has used to win. Look what he did at Duke. Points and total yards. Just incredible. 3 years with Duke, racked up tremendous numbers, and then he does the same thing in Florida. You're right, Mike, the system works. And he coaches it very well. 3rd and 11. Matthews from his end zone. Excuse me, 2nd and 11. They get it out to Jack Jackson, and he has his feet cut out from under him. Charlie Davidson, number 24, came up to make the stop.
Steve Spurrier's trying to milk about 95 yards out of that system right now. And just trying to, he knows now that his defense has control of the game of Mississippi State's offense. But now on the other side, Jackie Sherrill needs his defense to just keep putting pressure on Shane Matthews.
Matthews, deep sideline, good coverage, and intercepted by Kelvin Knight. And they're saying he's out of bounds. Boy, we had some close calls tonight. Kelvin Knight was playing center field, came over beautifully on the coverage.
Here, Shane Matthews just lost a little patience here. Tried to throw into too deep coverage. You see Kelvin Knight, see how they got him too deep? Number 1, Jack Jackson. There's just no place for him to go. Jack Jackson's the sprinter they like to throw the deep route to. Kelvin Knight in great shape.
Did not get the feet down, landed out of bounds. And now Tony James will have a chance to make an impact on this game as he is back to field Edge's punt in Florida territory. Low line drive kick returnable for James. And good coverage by the Gators. They stop him as he gets inside the 45. Punt of 41, a return of 5 yards. 6 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Mississippi State up by a touchdown, has the ball after the punt at the Florida 44. You would think this might be a time to try to pull something.
You have to open it up right now. If you're Jackie Sherrill, you have to show your quarterback Greg Plump. Open it up, get the ball to Fred Warner or Landon Truitt. Let him play now.
Prince is the fullback, and here it comes. Plump set to throw under pressure, hit from behind just as he throws, and it's out of bounds. Well, they tried to do it. They wanted to open it up, but Bill Gunter was coming from behind, the only senior defensive lineman. He hit Plump just as he threw.
You still are not in bad shape because you're on the plus 44-yard line. This is the time you take your shots with Greg Plump. You got 2 more pass plays to move the ball down the field. But what that did was give Greg Plump some confidence.
Plump 1 out of 4, 11 yards. His only completion of the season. 3 wide receivers covered the screen.
Watson Brown's calling this play.
And Plump relaying it to the team. Plump with a quick out. Got it to Truitt.
I like it, Mike. I like what they're doing. I like Watson Brown's call here because what he did, he went to a no-back, and then he had Greg Plump look to him to the sideline. He made the call. Number 10, Greg Plump. They watch him look to the sideline. He's looking to Watson Brown. Watson Brown's looking at Florida defense. Now he brings both those middle receivers in for protection, and now he's got a maximum protection to throw the out to Orlando Truitt.
Well, I tell you what, you have to have a disciplined football team to do that in the amount of time that you have. 3rd and a yard. Trying to keep the drive alive, and Plump is hit. Could not get the handoff. He is stuffed by Ellis Johnson.
He missed the read. The read was the give to the fullback, and he missed it. You see the frustration on Watson Brown, but Greg Plump should have gave the ball to the fullback. He's reading the down lineman. Watching the snap of the ball, he just misses the read. The defender came to the backside. You see Watson Brown, the frustration, because that was a drive they needed.
Had an opportunity starting from the 44-yard line of the Gators. They will punt from the 40. Jordan with Willie Jackson back. Trying to kill it inside the 10. And they do. Well, down inside the 5, and Jordan does his job on the punting team again and got great coverage downfield. 35-yard kick, but it was a beauty. First year they have divided the SEC into 2 divisions now with 12 teams, and here are the standings in the East. Tennessee with those 2 big wins. Number 1, Florida 1-1, and remember, no team has ever won the conference title with 2 losses. In the West, Mississippi State, the only team without a win, but right now they are up by a touchdown over the 13th ranked Gators. Florida takes over inside the 10-yard line. Matthews on first down and hit Keller, his tight end, right in the chest with it with a bullet. The championship game, which is also a new wrinkle for the Southeastern Conference, will be December 5th. And you don't think that'll be a big deal down here? Holy cow.
Tough thing about it is if you're Florida, you're involved, you play Florida State the week before. If you're Alabama, you play Auburn the week before, or vice versa. So you really have an emotional game the week before you go to that playoff.
Matthews has hit only 2 of his last 10. Four-man rush. He has times in the end zone. Wide open and missed. Willie Jackson. Let's check in with Jerry Punch.
A minute ago, Watson Brown came over and spoke with his young quarterback, Greg Plump, and said, listen, Greg, if you miss my signals, don't call the play yourself. Call timeout. If you miss my signals, call timeout. We'll get it straightened out. When you call your own play, we're in the wrong formation. We're going to get killed out there, and you're going to get killed. He said, listen to me, young man. If you miss the signal, simply call timeout, and we'll get it corrected on the sidelines. Back up there.
That's a good point, Jerry, because what Watson Brown wants to do is take the pressure of calling the plays off of number 10, Greg Plump, call him himself from the sideline.
Florida only 2 out of 10 on third down. This is 3rd and 10. And Matthews got out early. You could see him leaning back from his center, Gant Crouch.
I think a delay of game, maybe.
Dead ball foul, delay of game, offense.
And here's what happened. Matthews is the guy who's looking at the play clock, that 25-second clock. He saw it getting down to 1. He hadn't gotten to the snap count yet, but he wanted a ball.
Well, you're right, and his problem was because Eric Red had to shift all the way out.
Now watch, he'll see that play clock, and he backs out. And Gant Crouch did not snap the ball in time. Not his fault. 3rd and 12, half the distance to the goal penalty. They spread the field, no bounce. Down the middle, Jackson with a diving catch at the 26. Redshirt freshman Jack Jackson with a heck of a catch. And that gets Florida out of a huge hole.
Number 1, Jack Jackson is a big play receiver for Florida. Shane Matthews setting up under pressure. Delivers the ball in the middle of the field to Jack Jackson versus a linebacker. Caught him in a coverage where Leslie was on him man-to-man underneath.
Huge first down for the Gators out at the 26. Rhett, who has been nearly silent tonight, gets the ball on the toss. And only a couple there as he is swarmed. There's Sleepy Robinson back in street clothes, and unfortunately the medical report on him from Jerry Punch, if you missed it earlier, he is out for the season with a torn ligament. And that will put so much pressure on Mississippi State's defense because the offense is not going to be able to generate many points.
Well, what will happen now, Mike, is they'll go back and reshape their game plan, do the things that Plump does best.
Eric Red, who's a terrific running back, has 30 yards and 16 carries. State's defense has been sensational. Jack Jackson again makes the catch up to 38. It will be a Florida first down.
Florida needs just a patient drive. Just take the little 10-yard routes, draws, and just be patient and go down the field because they're up against a heavy zone coverage by Mississippi State. They're not going to give them the big play. You're not going to get the long touchdown pass against Mississippi State until you prove that you can go the 10-yard chunks against them.
But they have thrown into it repeatedly tonight, and that's where a couple of those interceptions have come from. Matthews changing things at the line. Forced out of the pocket again on the run, throws sidearm, and it's picked off. Frankie Luster with his 2nd interception of the night, and that was an awful throw by Shane Matthews. Luster with his 2nd interception of the night, the 3rd of the year.
Shane Matthews just throws this off balance. You see him fading. Now he's moving on the run. Never gets anything on the ball. and throws into double coverage, but threw across his body, which usually results in an interception.
There wasn't much right with that throw. The third interception of the night for the Mississippi State defense. Now Plump, again trying to make something happen on first down. He throws deep, has a man open, and Harris couldn't hold. Willie Harris was wide open, and Plump, under a lot of pressure, hit him right in the middle of the chest with it. Holy cow.
Willie Harris, 87, the outside receiver on a post route. And you see Larry Kennedy, number 3, got up inside too far. Willie Harris just couldn't hold on to the ball. Greg Plump got away with one. He hung it up because he couldn't get anything on it.
Watch Steve Spurrier on this one. Yes, sir. Got lucky. 2nd and 10. Play action to Roberts. Plump again forced out of the pocket. Throws on the run. Completed at the sideline to wingback Tony James. And Plump appearing to play with a little more confidence right now.
They're opening it up a little bit more for him because they're able to, because of the interception in the field position. Now, they need a screen, some type of... Last time on third down, they missed the read to the fullback. So we'll keep our eye on the fullback on this play.
With 3rd and about 4. And now they'll go with a no-back set. Here comes the pressure. Plump throws too high for Harris. He was covered well by Kennedy, but it was the Florida pressure up front that made the difference on that one.
Jackie's got to punt again now. He's got to keep playing defense. He's turned the game over to his defense now. Try to punt him in the hole.
And it was that first down play where Plump nearly had a 40-yard pass play to Harris, who couldn't hold it. A couple of big drops tonight on both sides. Florida does not believe what's going on. They will try a field goal from 53 with Chris Gardner. Gators playing a very safe defense. Now a flag is down, and what Mississippi State may have been trying to do is draw them offside.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense, 5-yard penalty.
You would think that would take him out of field goal range, wouldn't you?
I think so. I think that's still punt. I've seen him where they've snapped the ball to the field goal kicker, and he punts the ball.
And the punt team will now come on. Gardner was lining up like, hey, I'll take a shot at it. Instead, Todd Jordan will come in, who has been sensational. Killed the last one at the 5-yard line. 2:16 to go, third quarter. This has really turned into a defensive battle. Willie Jackson stands 10, high snap. Got it down and got it out of there. They try to kill it, but it went into the end zone. The official right on the goal line, and once the ball breaks the plane, even though that player has not gone down in the end zone, it is a touchback, and it'll come out to the 20. The NHL coming back to ESPN in our season premiere next Tuesday, 7:30. Eric Lindros will bring the Philadelphia Flyers against the two-time defending Stanley Cup champion Pittsburgh Penguins. Don't forget, most of the Stanley Cup playoffs and all of the Stanley Cup semifinals are yours on ESPN this year. Welcome back to the NHL. The Gators, it's their best field position in quite a while, starting at the 20. Rhett on the draw. He has had no luck tonight, nowhere to go. Shane Matthews, who got off to such a great start tonight, the numbers looking worse all the time, and the one that really bothers you is the one on the right, the interception.
The 3 interceptions just killed Florida tonight, but he's still capable. He's still that dynamite, ready to explode at any time to take this Florida team the length of the field.
Especially in this offense with their skill people. Matthews throws and throws low to Chris Bilkey, the fullback, coming out of the backfield. Mike, you said something earlier about Shane Matthews, that he appeared he was losing his patience, and I think that's exactly right.
Well, it looks to me like the last couple of throws have been off balance, and he's getting so much pressure from the defensive line against his offensive line. They're not protecting him very well, and he's fading away a little bit on his throws.
3rd and 7. Three-man rush, a little screen. They get it out to Darrell Frazier, and Frazier picks up a couple, but not nearly enough for a first down. There's another flag down, too.
Where that flag is coming from, I think it's going to be offensive interference. I'm just going to take a guess here that they may have had a pick play on to free up the running back.
But if they decline the penalty, it would be 4th down. And that's exactly what it is. Steve Spurrier with that wry smile.
Frustration written all over his face.
Yeah. And that of Matthews, too. Remember, this is a homecoming for him. He was a high school star at Pascagoula, Mississippi, the first time back in the state to play. And Shane Edge has to come on to punt again. And Tony James is back at his own 40. Well, if Mississippi State wins this game, they can get the game ball to the defense because they've done the job. To join us late, Sleepy Robinson, injured a knee. He is out for the year. Mississippi State has been able to do nothing on offense. Movement again.
Still not going to matter much because it'll still take them to 4th and 2.
Even if it's against Mississippi State.
Right.
Now the officials discussing who moved first.
The flag will be ignored. The penalty was after the players had moved. The contact was after the players had moved.
You're going to have to explain that one to me.
Hey.
I never heard
You're
that
looking
one.
at me.
I mean, we've both been doing this a long time, and I don't know that I've ever heard somebody say the flag was after the players had moved. That's absolutely bizarre. Edge gets it out of there. Better kick this time. James backpedals to the 37. Gives ground and loses 2, and a late hit will come down. Silly penalty on Florida. They make the big mistake. The penalty will be on Freeman. After they do the good job of coverage, then they get the late hit.
As you're playing a field position now, you don't want that type of penalty.
And it would have been the first time that Mississippi State had the ball on their side of the field.
This is what ages you as a coach. You're in pretty good shape. You got good coverage, and then you have the spearing. Well, they didn't call the spearing. They called the 5-yard face mask.
Well, there's another one I don't get. I mean, it was obvious right in front of the official what happened. So they saw the first one, missed the second.
You're going to see the face mask.
But another official came in later and threw the flag. It appeared he had caught the spearing call. Roberts on the option, and the Gators have defensed it well since the opening of the ball game. Carter comes over to make the tackle along with Anderson.
Mississippi State running to the short side of the field. 31, Carlton Miles makes him string out the option, then makes the play on the quarterback, forces the pitch, and the secondary takes the pitch man.
You know, you've had 2 real good running backs in here tonight, Eric Rhett and Kenny Roberts, and neither has been able to do anything. They've been defensed very well.
Well, Carlton Miles, Ronzo told me he's the glue of the defense. He makes all the calls. He's a leader on defense and a competitor.
2nd and 8, Mississippi State taking its time with 36 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Roberts has gained 29 yards on 7 carries. And they're having problems again with a 25-second clock. Rhett, 17 carries, 33 yards.
They restarted, but they started it at 22.
And they'll let it get down to 15 and then mark it ready for play. 2nd and 8, Mississippi State at its own 40.
Ron Zook, if you're on that sideline right now, you're looking for a turnover.
Now the official says started on my whistle.
You're looking to force a turnover, either a fumble or an interception, to try to turn the momentum away from Mississippi State.
Finally get the clock set. Plump on 2nd and 8. Wants to throw. Under pressure. Has the good arm. Got it to Truitt. At the 20. Inside the 15. Del Spears saved the touchdown, but Plump really drilled out.
Orlando Truitt, number 80, recruited him at Pittsburgh, and he wanted Jerry Rice's number. The inside receiver just breaks to the outside, and then Harris clears out wide open, but Greg Plump's scrambling ability made this play. Now look at the acceleration by Orlando Truitt. He becomes a running back.
The guy he beat, number 2, Will White, has been a Thorpe candidate for 3 straight years. Truitt, 4 catches, 77 yards. That was a gain of 47. Plump hit just as he throws in the ball, whistles out of bounds, looking for Truitt again against White, but he was blindsided. Gunter came hard from the right side.
Well, the 8-man front, you have 4 players on both sides of the center, so you can't block 8. Just impossible. Bill Gunter comes from the backside, 393, hit Greg Plump in the back, didn't give him a chance to make the throw.
Gunter's made a couple of big plays here in the second half. He was out since 1990 pursuing a career in the ministry. Said it took him a year to get his strength and weight back. 2nd and 10, draw play, Davis. Inside the 10 to the 9. Clock running down to end the 3rd quarter, and Mississippi State will let it. The Bulldogs happy with a 7-point lead with a quarter to go. The only touchdown of the ball game came from Mississippi State on the opening possession. Robinson to Truitt for 7. Mississippi, number 24, Mississippi State leading number 13, Florida by a touchdown and bidding for more. What do you like offensively here?
Look for a roll off to the right with Greg Plump, runner pass situation.
3rd and 6, and now they check the sidelines for the play again after seeing Florida's defense. Plump under pressure. They sack him back at the 21-yard line. Here's the importance of that. A field goal would be huge in this situation. Would put you up 2 scores. They may have taken him out of field goal range.
Now, I think they're still in pretty good shape. The good decision was Greg Plump didn't throw the ball. Florida guessed the same way that I was guessing. They were going to come to the field side, so they brought both outside people from the outside to pressure Greg Plump.
Gardner will try it from 36 yards out. He's hit 2 of 3 tonight. And he missed it. That's what I meant. It's not the distance, but the angle becomes so much greater the further back you go. Gardner thought he made it.
He's thought he's made 2 of them tonight.
And I think he was certainly right on the first one.
I tell you, Larry Kennedy, number 3, gets another pressure on the kicker. You see him come from the right side. Now that one looks like it's wide to the right, huh?
That's twice Gardner thought he's been robbed tonight.
I think he just felt like I better get my hands up here.
Florida gained 22 yards in offense in the 3rd quarter. Matthews throws low, complete to Rhett. And Shane Matthews not throwing in any kind of rhythm whatsoever in the second half. Let's go to Jerry Punch.
Guys, Gator offensive line coach Rich McGeorge has just told his young line they're going to adjust the splits and make wider splits up front. Why? The congestion inside is making it very difficult for the draw to be effective. Also, he wants to allow his tackles, Reggie Green and Ryan Taylor, to have a better angle for pass blocking. So wider splits here on this series for the Gators. Back upstairs.
All right, Jerry, thanks. And here are the splits you can see from the end zone camera. Second and 7, play action again. Matthews throws the interception. Kevin Henry, the senior, picked it off. Lateef Travis, who originally signed with the Florida Gators but never went to school there, put the pressure on Shane Matthews and made him throw the bad ball.
Sometimes when a player comes back home, he just puts too much pressure on himself. Lateef Travis, number 49, with the pressure. Bad decision again by Shane Matthews to throw. Intercepted by number 91, Kevin Henry.
4 interceptions for the Heisman candidate. 3 of them badly thrown balls. And Mississippi State has to use a timeout because of the celebration on the field and the offense getting on late. They will have a 1st and goal at the 1.
I think you look for the fullback here. They're just going to try to pound it inside without trying to take the ball off the line of scrimmage too far and just let the fullback get in there.
We are already into October, and of course that means you start paring down your favorite list of Heisman candidates, and Shane Matthews has certainly not helped his cause tonight.
Now the 4 interceptions just is really, he still has a chance with 13:34 on the clock to bring his club back.
And he can sure ring up numbers in a quarter, especially in this offense.
I have a different horse that I'm going to enter into the Heisman
Who's that?
race. Charlie Ward. And I think Charlie Ward, after this weekend, has a great opportunity to hurdle everybody in the Heisman race and get right in the thick of things.
Of course, the Florida State quarterback off to a real slow start. What, 10 interceptions early in the year? They go to the wishbone on 1st and goal from the 1. Again, a player coming on late.
Lots of fullbacks.
Quarterback, keeper, touchdown. Well, the offense got the points, but the defense deserves the credit.
Totally, Mike. The defense has really set everything up for Mississippi State.
Gardner on for the point after. There's a flag down on the play.
We have 12 men on the field by the offense.
The offense with 12 men on the field. Now remember, in college, this is a 15-yard penalty. So the extra point, which could be critical in this game, is going to amount to a long field goal.
Haven't seen that many times, 12 men on the offense.
No. So it's 19-6.
Greg Plump on the touchdown. Followed the fullback. Here's the play, the fake to the fullback, Michael Davis. He just follows him in the end zone for the touchdown. Watch the blocking. Look how low the Mississippi State players are. Key block was number 37, Michael Davis, after the fake.
This is the point after. In actuality, it will be a 35-yard field goal attempt for Gardner. He's 2 out of 4. Big kick, and he knocked this one through. He's got quite a leg. The lead has gone to 14 points. Greg Plump gets the touchdown run, taking advantage of another Florida turnover, a career-high 4th interception by Matthews. ESPN's Thursday Night CFA is brought to you by Wrangler, the most comfortable jeans known to man. And by Bud Dry. For a beer that's refreshingly different, try Bud Dry. Well, they're feeding the Bulldog well tonight in Starkville. Mississippi State over Florida 20-6. 13:31 to go in the game. Mississippi State to kick off. Florida with a chance to bring this one back. Houston nailed as he got across the 20, fighting for more yards to the 22. And this is the story of the ball game. 5 turnovers by the Gators, 4 interceptions, a career high from Shane Matthews, and a fumble, 10 resulting points. And Mike Godfrey, we said at the beginning, this was a homecoming of sorts for Shane Matthews. He wanted to play so well here, coming back to Mississippi for the first time. His mom died of a stroke at the age of 44 this summer. A very emotional time for him right now. Matthews throws over the middle, complete, got it to Jackson. Willie Jackson out to the 33 should be a first down.
Well, he's going to have to work for everything he gets because it's a heavy zone coverage by Mississippi State. And Mississippi State defensive line has owned the offensive line, the young offensive line of Florida.
That seems to be the first pass and a half that he has thrown on rhythm. Out of the eye, they'll try Rhett on the draw again. And there has been nothing for the young tailback of the Gators tonight. He's out to the 36, given maybe 3.
Well, to me, the whole key has been the rushing yardage for Florida, the inability to run the football. Credit Mississippi State, but when you take a two-dimensional football team and take away one dimension, they've taken away the run. I mean, that's what happens.
Well, here's the story. They're almost 100 yards under their average per game, and Mississippi State has done a sensational job. Matthews almost intercepted again by Daniel Boyd, who made the great catch of one in the first half. And the linebackers drop deeper and deeper.
Well, you play a little loose. Daniel Boyd. Look at the eyes of the linebacker. He's reading the offensive lineman. As soon as he sees pass, he takes a step because he has to make sure it's not a draw. Then he drops back in coverage, and he's in perfect shape to knock away the pass.
Matthews has hit only 6 of his last 18 after a fast start. 4-man rush. They want the screen, and it's dropped by Darrell Frazier. Right in his hands.
Well, it's a good thing that was dropped for Mississippi State because he had a lot of grass in front of him.
Would have easily had the first down. Instead, the Gators will have to punt with 12:25 to go.
Florida just hasn't executed tonight offensively, and Mississippi State is just really making them work.
Shane Edge to punt to Tony James.
I was going to say, not giving him anything easy. Everything's just tough for him to gain yardage-wise.
Line drive, returnable kick. James, number 1 all-time punt return yards, struggles and fights his way back across the 35. Let's go to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Obviously an emotional effort by the Mississippi State defense tonight. On their jerseys, every single player wearing the number 97 on the left front in memory of their fallen comrade Rodney Stowers. And also in the program tonight, a very poignant article written by Mark Woodard, outside linebacker and roommate for Rodney Stowers. Woodard talks about the bond of friendship and how not a day goes by that he doesn't remember his good friend Rodney. Rodney lost his life from complications of a broken leg in this game in Orlando a year ago. Back upstairs.
All right, Jerry, we had a penalty on the last play, and I wanted to ask you, as a physician, very unusual, isn't it, for a young man to lose his life from a broken leg?
It is extremely unusual. In fact, it's very, very rare for this kind of isolated fracture to create a problem. I think the literature, if you look at it, there are maybe 6 cases that have been written up in the world in the past 30 years, and certainly a very, very unfortunate and unavoidable complication for a young man to lose his life in this game of football. Mike?
All right, thanks, Jerry. Let's check the penalty on the punt.
They're holding a 10-yard penalty during the kick. That's a post-scrimmage kick foul, 10 yards from the end of the kick. First down.
Came after the punt, so it's marked off from the return spot back to the 20-yard line. And now if you're Mississippi State on offense, you just don't want to make the big mistake.
No, you get 12-13 on the clock, so now you want to be able to turn it over on the ground. Turn it over to your fullback and tailback. Try to pick up some yardage and run the clock.
Prince and Roberts are the backs. Roberts on the toss. Of course, the Gators know that's what they're going to do, and that's Bill Gunter again, cracking in from his defensive end spot.
That play was so slow to develop. Bill Gunter came from the backside in 93 and made the tackle. This team defending its SEC championship. They lose here, they would be 1-2, both losses in the conference, both on the road. But you don't win in the SEC with 2 defeats. No, and Alabama and Tennessee both riding high at this moment.
2nd and 10, no gain on the last play. But the clock is running, and that's all they care about. Roberts, as the Gators send 8 men up in a hurry.
Can't get too patient, and you know, if you're Mississippi State either, you can't start pulling the horns too quick. Too much time, 11:15.
And David Barnard, down for the 2nd time, came into the ballgame with an ankle injury and was making the first start of his career tonight. Very young Florida defensive front. And back to a point we tried to make in the first half. There's so many guys they lost to graduation and fall injuries that I think it was terribly unrealistic of people to expect the Florida Gators to be a top 5 team this early in the season.
Well, if you're a coach, you like that from in one instance because your program's arrived and people expect you to be there. But you also, as Steve Spurrier told us, he was amazed and he knew what he had lost, but yet he still told his team, you know, we can do this, and you set your goals high.
We've got a timeout with 11:13 to go in the game. Mississippi State by 14.
Something to drink, sir?
Yeah, make it a Bud Light.
Sorry, we just ran out.
Oh. Excuse me. Bud Light?
Try Flight 261 out of L.A.
Oh, thank you.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Do you have a Bud Light?
Yes. Welcome aboard, sir.
Great. Where are we going?
Take one and action. Hey, what's the best thing about breakfast at McDonald's?
Coffee.
Pour out a cup, steaming, it's dark and rich.
I pour it personally.
Coffee fresh?
Fresh brewed. Fantastic cup of coffee.
So what's the secret?
Arabica.
Oh, what's an Arabica?
Arabica beans.
Oh, the beans. And what else?
It's always fresh.
It just tastes good.
And they like to come in and talk with each other, and just like the small coffee shop long ago.
How much a coffee refill?
They're free. What you want is what you get.
It's guaranteed.
Want some?
Yeah.
The hair is gross. It makes you itch. It gets everywhere. It covers everything. It's down in the Epson printer. We groom hundreds of dogs a week, literally. It's a lot of hair. Big long hairs like this, little tiny hairs. It's a disgusting mess.
After 8 years and 29,830 pounds of dog hair, Singing Scissors Pet Care Center in Santa Fe, New Mexico is still operating at a healthy clip. So is their Epson printer.
The printer's totally fuzzy and gross inside. It just seems to keep going no matter what.
Tennessee has emerged as a front runner in the SEC, but can they get past LSU? Find out Saturday on ESPN.
11:13 left to go from Starkville, Mississippi. The Bulldogs over the Gators by 2 touchdowns. Mississippi State facing a 3rd and 10 from its own 20. And Plump to throw. Under pressure, deep sideline, incomplete. Willie Harris nearly made a sensational catch.
They only have 10 players on the field. Mississippi State was a player short on the field. They only had 10 players on that scrimmage play.
And now they'll have to kick it away. Well, that would be the 2nd time tonight somebody either came up 1 short or 1 too many.
But you don't expect after a long delay like that to only have 10 players on the field.
The Gators need a big play. They have Willie Jackson waiting back at his own 37. They put on the rush. Don't get there. Jordan got in the way. Another beautiful kick. Jackson with no blocking. Picks up a couple, got it back to the 36-yard line. A 6-yard return after a 50-yard punt. Shane Matthews' father, the gentleman with the headset around his neck and the white jersey, the coach at Pascagoula, Mississippi, where Shane played his high school football. They won their divisional championship, the state title, in his final year in 5A ball.
You'd expect him to have a night off, but he's coaching up there. Right now, he's coaching this game.
The Gators need 2 scores. Matthews picked up again, one long with the interception. He's back to the 16-yard line. That is the 5th time tonight that Shane Matthews has been intercepted.
Juan Long, number 40, is going to drop into his curl area and read the eyes of Shane Matthews. Steps back, reads the curl, or the in route, and just picks it off.
6 Florida turnovers, 5 picks, and a fumble. Give it to the fullback, Davis. Couple of tough yards up the middle. Carter was there along with Kennedy. Got a lot of help. And you can't win with 6 turnovers. I don't care who you are.
No, I don't care what kind of offense you have and who's playing quarterback.
Mississippi State easily within field goal range here, which could give them a 17-point lead.
Well, that's what they're thinking now. I mean, they don't want to take a lot of chances right now because they know another 3 points tacked on, then you have to have 3 scores to beat them.
And the Gators have to show only 2 field goals for their offense all night long. Bump on a little half roll under pressure, floats it to the end zone. Sure, can't get there. A little surprised that they threw the ball.
I was too. I think when you Watson Brown knows if he has the injury to Sleepy Robinson and if he is indeed out for the season, then you're looking at their hopes. Number 10, Greg Plump, so he's showing him confidence. He knows it's not just this game tonight. He's got a whole season to play.
Plump 4 out of 11, 73 yards. Hit the one big one. Faces a 3rd and 9 here. The other thing that play does is stop the clock.
Stops the clock. I would think run here. No, let's see what happens. Let's see if they try to throw it up for the touchdown, but I think run. No, there is no back unless it's a quarterback draw. It's going to be a throw.
They have 5 men to go out in a pattern. And it is a quarterback draw. That's a good call. About a yard shy. Flag is down at the end of the play. And one of the Gator defenders is hurt. And that one will come back.
Mississippi State again with no backs, but look at the only guy that can stop this play is the official because there's nobody home inside and you got the trap, and then the other thing that can stop it is beside that official is that flag he threw out for holding.
We have offensive holding, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, replay 3rd down.
Well, you were right about the draw, though. That quarterback draw was a great call.
Now, Mike, if I'm Watson Brown again, I'm running the football here and setting the field goal up.
Let's check in with Dr. Jerry Punch. Jerry?
Guys, hard to believe it. The news does not get any better for the Gators. They have just lost freshman 300-pound defensive tackle David Barnard. Has a hyperextended back, a sprained lower back, sitting on the bench here with ice on it. He will play no more tonight. Back upstairs.
And to compound that, Jerry Ellis Johnson, the other starting defensive tackle, is the man down for the Gators. They only came into this game with 7 guys on the defensive line.
Mike, that's the thing about college football. You're never the same team every week unless you just stay void of any injuries, because when you lose somebody else has to play, but you're never the same team, and the losses can really hurt you and just change your team overnight.
Well, this is obviously a big game in the Southeastern Conference. This is the biggest weekend of college football so far. Some huge matchups. I've got to like Florida State at Miami.
Well, I'm picking Charlie Ward to enter the Heisman sweepstakes here, so I like Florida State against Miami.
Stanford and Notre Dame. Who's your pick there?
Well, Bill Walsh returns. He's out of the booth now, and I tell you that I bet he's looking forward to going back to Notre Dame to play and get on the sidelines instead of being in the booth.
He should have picked up enough information last year as the analyst.
Well, he can tell a lot of stories about the teams, but I think he's going to center in on that game.
How good is Washington, #1 this week?
They're good. I mean, take nothing away from them. They're very good on defense. They got 2 quarterbacks, and Hobart and Brunell. They got 3 great tailbacks, and they've got a good football team.
Is Iowa a threat at Michigan?
I don't think so. I mean, I think Michigan, Ohio State are the class of the Big Ten.
Hope you'll join us for game day, because they'll have a big report on Florida State and Miami. Johnson able to get off the field under his own power after the hold. It's 3rd and 19. From here, it would be a 41-yard field goal attempt. Plump wants to throw, wants the screen, and throws it badly. Had Truitt, the flanker, out there. They had the screen form, but the pressure forced him to throw it quickly.
Kind of stops the clock again.
Sure does.
Now you need Chris Gardner to hit the field goal, not only put his hands up, but see the officials in the back put theirs up.
Gardner's had his hands up every time.
Yeah, he says, I'm always good. It's always true.
2 out of 4. This would be from 41 and force Florida to score 3 times. He's missed from 47 and 36. It's good. The senior has hit on 3 field goals. Mississippi State leads by 17. Mississippi State talking it over on the sideline. It's a happy chat, too, because it's 23-6. Only 9:09 to go in the game from Starkville, and Steve Spurrier knows his offense has dug itself a big hole, and he may not be able to get out of it. Career-high 5 interceptions for Shane Matthews. Gardner to kick it off. Got all of it again. Drives it 8 yards into the end zone. Shane Matthews has, in his last 2 appearances, just had incredible nights against Mississippi State, throwing for an average of about 336 yards a game. Tonight, a career-high 5 interceptions, which means he has 7 interceptions for the season in his 3rd game. They throw the screen to Rhett. The only time they've gotten him loose for more than 3 or 4 yards tonight. Let's check in with Jerry Punch. Doctor?
Well, the walking wounded list grows here in the Gators sidelines. Ellis Johnson walking around. He had a burner, a stretch of the cervical nerve in his left arm, causing some pain, some weakness. He seems to be coming around. He probably will go back in. But Myrick Anderson, sitting here on the bench, has a right elbow sprain. He is through for the night. The backup banded back.
And it is a young Florida defensive team, especially in those spots. Matthews being chased. Nowhere to go, and Daniel Boyd got it. Big night for the entire defense, and 3 or 4 guys have sparkled for Mississippi State.
The key tonight for Mississippi State on defense has been the defensive front. They have just controlled the offensive line of Florida with a 3-man rush, which allows you to drop everybody else in coverage. Danny Boyd just fights through the block and makes the play on Shane Matthews. Look at the effort.
The 3rd sack for Mississippi State. 3rd and 13. And Matthews had it knocked down by Juan Long, who nearly had his 2nd interception. They have been sensational. Florida will have to kick it away on 4th and 13, 7:50 to go in the game. Shane Edge from Lake City, Florida, stands at his 2. James waits near midfield. Off the side of his foot and low, a chance for James to return. Inside the 40-yard line, a 10-yard return after a line drive punt of only 33. This Mississippi State defense has really cranked it up, especially since the loss of their quarterback, Sleepy Robinson. They have allowed absolutely nothing. 3 sacks of Shane Matthews. They've knocked him down 5 other times, hurried him 4, and picked off 5.
Well, you know, Shane Matthews had that great year against them last year, and this is a staff that's in their second year. One time around, you get a look at some guys, and you decide to play them a little differently. Bill Clay should get a lot of credit tonight, the defensive coordinator, Mississippi State.
Plump runs the option. He'll keep it. Hit at the line of scrimmage and stop. Carlton Miles makes the stop, and that is Terry Dean, the backup quarterback, warming up on the sideline. There are his numbers for his career. Tough situation for Shane Matthews. You're playing so poorly. Do you want to come back in? I mean, it's a situation where you haven't helped the team at all in the second half.
Well, I think sometimes, you know, he wants to play. There's no doubt about it. And what was a dream for him to come back and play in Mississippi's turned into a nightmare. But, you know, you need to take him out now and let the second-team quarterback come in and mop up.
Matthews hit only 17 of 38, 5 interceptions. Draw play to the fullback, William Prince. The road has not been a friendly place for Steve Spurrier in his tenure for the Florida Gators. 7-5. And a spotless home record, and 7-6 in this score, Steve.
When that happens to you, you have to start trying to figure ways of doing things differently. They flew into Tuscaloosa, Alabama. They bust over. They didn't work out last night. So you start to reach around a little bit and start to change things in your mind and try to change that a little bit.
3rd and 5. Plump, draw play again. Prince shakes a tackle. He had to get across the 50-yard line. He will be short. The safeties, Monty Groh and Will White, made the tackle. Excuse me, had to get across the 30 for the first down.
You know, it's interesting, Mike, as I look at this crowd, they're really into the game, and looks like Mississippi State's going to win, and everybody's on a high here. Rocky Felker, the guy who Jackie took over for, really recruited most of these players. Yeah. I mean, Jackie's in the second year here, so Rocky Felker brought this ball club in here, and of course, now they're turning the corner, so he should get some credit for this football.
Sure should. Excellent point. 4th and inches, they'll go for it. Out of the bone. And the quarterback looked like the knee went down, but they say no, and just got across the 30-yard line. And by inches should have a first down. Thought Plump's knee went down at about the 32-yard line. Clock stops as they're looking at the sticks. And it is a first down. Watch on the replay. See if Plump's knee does touch. Yep. Sure did. And Plump is slow getting up. Todd Jordan, the punter, will now unlimber the arm. They've already lost their starter, Sleepy Robinson, and now Plump, who barely got the first down on that play, obviously in discomfort.
What could be one of the biggest wins he's had since he's been at Mississippi State, Jackie Sherrill. In his mind right now, he's thinking about Sleepy Robinson. He's thinking about Greg Plump because he knows how much effort these guys have put into their season, and it just really has kind of taken a little bit of edge off of any kind of win he can have tonight. You just never want to see anybody get hurt in a football game. Look at his head here as he tries to go forward. Helmet on helmet there.
Well, you can see his neck compressed too. Plump is awake. And Jackie Sherrill is relieved. Still attending to Plump. They help him up. He may just have had his bell rung on the play because he really took a whack. And Jordan will come in at quarterback.
Greg Plump has played well here in the second half. He did what he needed to do to get this team over the hump. They restricted the offense for him. Watson Brown limited some of the things that they had planned on with Sleepy Robinson. Greg Plump really executed the offense.
Ed Robinson got the big tackle and Plump in some obvious discomfort. And now third-team quarterback Todd Jordan is on to run it. And they do not have a fourth quarterback dressed out tonight. There's a flag down as Michael Davis gets the carry up the middle.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
New cadence, new quarterback. That happens all the time. Somebody jumps.
And Plump trying to work out the kinks in the neck. You could see it compressed when he took the helmet-on-helmet shot. And now they get the ice bag on. And Sleepy Robinson in the suit. Tore up a knee, gone for the year. Mike, you're right. It'll be a very quiet celebration, a huge win. But what a terrible price to pay. That's the fullback, Michael Davis, still on his feet to the goal line. A 35-yard run by Michael Davis and his second touchdown of the season.
See the little give here, and then Michael Davis breaks backside. Fred Ward, number 1, a wide receiver, will come into your picture. Look, just get enough in front of Del Spear, number 4, to break it into the end zone for the touchdown.
Gardner for the point after. And Mississippi State laying it on the Florida Gators right now. It's 30-6. It's been so much defense for Mississippi State. The offense gets in the act. Well underway, and he'd get all the votes in Mississippi. Make it a 4-way race.
And he can join Ross.
Ross Perot declared this afternoon. Jackie Sherrill can declare tonight. 30-6, and the Gators have been held to 75 yards offense in the second half. Sensational job by this Mississippi State defense. Houston, a couple of yards deep in the end zone. Right across the 20 to the 21. Let's check in with Jerry Punch. Doctor?
Beside me on the bench, Greg Plump sitting here, had severe muscle spasms in his neck. Now, I talked to the orthopedist here just a moment ago. What they're going to do is put the collar on his neck, take him in, and get him x-rayed. He's through for the night. Hopefully not a significant injury. He's got good strength in both arms, good strength in his good movement of his neck. He'll be okay. And a minute ago, we might mention Watson Brown came over and gave him a big hug and a kiss. Said, "Young man, you made that touchdown possible. I love you," and walked away.
Well, I'm sure the young man appreciated that because he has done his job. And Terry Dean, the sophomore, has taken over as the Gators quarterback. Stands tall in the pocket, nearly had it picked off. Keith Joseph almost had the interception. He was a teammate of Shane Matthews at Pascagoula, and all Steve Spurrier can do is shake his head.
Passes that have been intercepted, all except one, I believe, have all been in routes where the linebackers have had a shot at the in routes. Usually in Florida scheme, they have a deep receiver, they have somebody high, and then they have somebody underneath on the backers.
4:25 left in the game, and it has been all Mississippi State. Dean with the out route. Henry Haston made the last catch.
You have to take your hat off to Bill Clay, the defensive coordinator. Just a marvelous defensive effort. His defensive football team and a game plan. Daniel Boyd told me the other day about the coaching staff. He said, I watch them every day. They work well together and they communicate to us as players.
Rhett on the draw. And even at this point, there's nothing available for him on the ground.
Defensive line coach Pete Jenkins. His defensive line has dominated the game. I mean, to me, that's been the biggest mismatch of the night, and especially in the second half. Covering his former team this Saturday, LSU. He was an assistant at LSU.
Dean can't find a receiver. Still on the run, trying to get as much as he can out of it. Knocked down shy of the 40-yard line.
Terry Dean, the ball carrier.
SportsCenter coming up right after our broadcast, and you have to wonder, will Kirby Puckett stay around? George Brett, he did it. 4 out of 5 last night. 3,000 hits. Our congratulations to him. And then after baseball tonight, coming up with Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann, Tom Meade standing by with SportsCenter. Brett trying to get the first down. The Brewers playing tonight. They need to win to cut it to 2. They're tied with the Mariners, nothing in the 5th.
They have to win all 4 games, right? Milwaukee Brewers, I think.
Yes.
And then Toronto has to lose 2 of their 4.
That's right. Well, that's one of the scenarios, but that's the only way they can tie and force a 1-game playoff. Our Wrangler players of the game will be coming up shortly. Florida faces a 3rd and short. 2:26 left in the game. Florida has only 40 yards rushing on the night. And now they'll have to spend a timeout.
When they go back and look at this tape, they're going to see that that has been the key. They just couldn't run the football.
And it's something they've been able to do under Steve Spurrier, is have the balanced offense, but not tonight. The Heisman candidate with a career-high 5 interceptions can only watch from the sideline as his teammates go for it on 3rd and short. They'll pick up the first down to keep the drive going, but there's only 2:21 left in the game, and they are being pounded by Mississippi State, 30-6. Huge win for Jackie Sherrill. His club will go to 3-1, improve on their 24th ranking in the country. Stay alive in their division of the SEC. Dean with good protection, throwing deep over the middle. Nearly picked off. We just can't say enough. Kelvin Knight got back on defense and batted it away. And Jackie Sherrill now down to his 3rd quarterback, but the schedule favors him with 3 out of the next 5 at home and the hard ones at home.
Well, you're right. Auburn on October 10th. Wayne Hall, the defensive coordinator of Auburn, is scouting this game tonight in the press box.
Alabama later in the season is also here. Dean to the sideline. Completes it to Henry Haston, and Haston just got by the first down marker.
Alabama team who's leading this division just had some trouble with their offense. But defensively, they may be one of the top 3 defensive teams in the country.
I'm not sure Mississippi State isn't up there either.
Tonight, as I said, a marvelous effort.
Hard to imagine you could see anything better. They have just done everything perfectly. Dean on the scramble. Gets down to the 40. Let's check in with Jerry Ponch. Jerry?
How important was this game here at Scott Field? Well, let me tell you how important. The senior class have been waiting for this game for a year. They have not ever had a chance to play Florida right here at Scott Field. The last 5 years they've played this game away. Very important and very significant home win for the Mississippi State Bulldogs, guys.
And the last time that they beat the Gators was here at Scott Field. And there's Mark Woodard, one of the seniors on this team. And as you said, Rocky Felker This is a senior and junior dominated team, and these are the kids he brought in and Jackie Sherrill inherited. Right. Nothing, not to take anything away from Jackie Sherrill, because he has certainly molded them into a winning ball club.
Well, sometimes, too, athletic directors will take the money and move the game somewhere else. But I think now that Mississippi State has established their program, they've got to play their games here.
Yes.
If it's a home game here, keep it here. You know, don't take the money. You get enough people in the stands, you'll make that money up.
Well, they have 27,000 season tickets sold this year, so they will get the money for this program. Our Wrangler players of the game. From the University of Florida, Kevin Carter, the defensive lineman. 8 tackles tonight, made some big plays early in the game. And from Mississippi State, King, that tremendous defense. Frankie Luster, who had 2 interceptions and 3 tackles. There's about 4 guys on a defense you could have given it to. But Luster had a great night, picking off a Heisman candidate twice. 1:03 left in the game. Probably the toughest night of Shane Matthews' career. He throws to Frazier underneath. He'll pick up a few near the 35-yard line. But I say you can never go home again, and that's what Shane Matthews was hoping for tonight.
Wasn't that Thomas Wolfe that wrote that?
I don't read. I don't know. I read press
I believe
guide.
it was. I think I learned that at Crestline High School, team in Ohio.
He never wrote a press guide, so I'm not sure. Frazier down the sideline, forced out of bounds inside the 30. Stops the clock with 40 seconds left to go. Sports Center coming up right after our ball game. It'll be tough for the Gators to regroup for this one too.
What you do as a coach, you take the tape out, you go back, and you find the good things your team accomplished, accentuate the positive, find the bad things, and make the changes. Go on to next week's game.
Dean in from Matthews. Scrambles, hit from behind, fumble. 7 turnovers for Florida. Been that kind of night. Herman Carroll out of Natchez makes the recovery.
Look at Steve Spurrier. I've been there. There's days when it just doesn't pay to get on the plane. You know, what's going through his mind right now is how he gets them back.
Yeah.
And where he goes from here. This game's over in his mind. Now he has to figure out, and he's a good, solid football coach, and he'll have that figured out. On the plane ride home, his thoughts are going to be on what do I do next and how do I get number 9 back up.
It may be different since they have 2 divisions in the SEC, but when it was just one conference, no team has ever won the championship with 2 losses. So Florida's chances of repeating may have gone by the board tonight.
And Tennessee's playing so well in that division.
And Jackie Sherrill ready to celebrate. Clock ticking away.
It's a long walk to the middle of the field when you lose, but I'll tell you, when you win, I'll tell you one thing. You're walking off, your feet are off the ground.
A huge win for Mississippi State. Our final score, the Mississippi State Bulldogs 30, the Florida Gators 6. For Mike Godfrey, Dr. Jerry Punch, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from Starkville, Mississippi.